ready.
I'm a cat.
Izzy has in fact been transformed into a cat. It's been a wild time. It's kind of weird how
It's
she
been
can
a
still
wild
like.
shape.
It's been a wild shit. Hey,
Hey.
I'm so sorry.
beautiful.
It's perfect.
All right, stream over. We haven't even started.
All right, let's pause it with the puns.
I'm ending the stream. I'm ending it right
Hey.
now. It's been a wild
I'm
time.
furious.
Be lying to us right now.
Sid is really annoyed right meow.
It's unbearable.
I'm just. Okay. Bye.
Fair enough.
Anywho, welcome back to the stream. Oh, you ended your wild shape. Amazing.
Yep, it only had 30 minutes.
You know what? That's fair. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back, lovely viewers. I'm Sid. I will be the dungeon master for this evening. It's gonna be a great time. If I disappear, don't worry. I'm having tummy issues. Let's start with our opening announcements. Starting with a thank you to our favorite goose, Mackie. You're here. Thank you, Mackie.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mackie.
That's not what I meant to open. The file on my computer. What? Anyhow, I'll look at that later. Thank you, Mackie. We don't have any art from you for this campaign, except for, your characters, who's...
Yeah, except for your character who is right there.
Shh, I was getting there. Except for your character who would one of these directions. They're great. I love it. It's a tiny little mouse. Thank you to Carly for the name tiles and the lovely logo at Cinderheart Studios. Thank you to Lykel for this amazing background. Thank you to... I have so many things open in front of me. Thank you to Lykel for our amazing background. Thank you to ChainPQ for the maps that will be present tonight if we get to them. Thank you to Arcane Anthems for the music you heard earlier today. Earlier in the stream. But also technically, yes, today.
That was today.
It was, in fact, today. So all of that information can also be found in the chat below, which I will post now. But yes, and thank you to all of you for watching, subscribing, taking the time to, pay attention to us and watch us flail about and do crazy stuff and stream and do all this wild stuff that we couldn't do without you. We love having you here. We love having you in our moderated Twitch chat, and we love getting to engage with this amazing community that we have here.
And we love Liz's spooky ghoul face right now that's happening.
I wasn't looking. Let me fix that. Whoopsies. That might happen.
Okay.
I'll fix it when it happens.
Like us?
Yeah, it just gets this mark on your face that makes it look like you're sucking inward of a demon.
It's real. No, you missed what was happening earlier, where it was just glitch central. And
it could just be the ghost in Liz's room trying to
the ghost
play.
in the machine.
I've been dead this whole time.
I cannot confirm if you haven't been. Only one of us can.
I can, but that was a while ago.
But were they a ghost when you met? You don't know.
No, they're pretty corporeal.
Ghosts can be pretty solid.
It comes and goes.
Solid to be able to hold a mini golf putter.
Ghosts. Oh, Liz.
I hate it. I hate what you do.
No, if anyone would be able to go ghost here.
The dad energy and strong tonight.
Alrighty. Second announcement. Check out our D&D donation abilities. For $1 or 100 bits, you can grant guidance or a +1 to a player's rolls. $3 or 300 bits, you can grant inspiration or a D6 to a player's rolls. I forgot what that word was for a moment. Or $10 or 1,000 bits, new character who dis, create a custom NPC for the stream. That information is also in the chat.
Guys, I have 3 levels of dice. They're a family!
Oh my goodness.
Why is it that tiny one's a choking hazard?
Why did I not take out my dice?
You do in fact need those. You could really...
Kind of important.
Or if you would like to, if you don't want to use dice, we can use a variant rule that I like to have, which is crack open a fortune cookie and just read whatever that is, and that's your roll.
I'm gonna do that one day. I'm just gonna get a bag of fortune cookies. Don't test me, I'll do it.
It's a lovely rule I found online, and honestly, I would love to see the interpretations for those.
The
Just
tiny dice are from my cool potion
That is an
bottles I
interesting
have.
rule,
as a
actually.
divination wizard too, just be like, fucking who knows.
Can we please do that someday?
Honestly, yes, we should. I desperately want to do random weird shit.
Also, of course I have to use dice. These are my blood set.
Blood dice. Yes, Eugene definitely needs blood dice for the blood god. You know, your blood god, your bestie. Your best friend. Your hunger friend. Your snacks.
My nom.
Your om noms. Om nom nom. Anywho, faffing. I think we're good. Is there any more
Do we have
faffing?
any, like...
Today is fucking wild.
It's a time.
Do we have any, announcements about upcoming streams, or are we good?
We are getting closer to the end of the Liftswon Institute, if you can't tell, and once that is over, we will be returning to our regularly scheduled Andoria. I don't know exactly when that is, and Pilion and Aldrich Academy. I wasn't sure if we were going to do a different thing before Aldrich, so I didn't want to say what it was.
That's fair.
So I was like, I don't know what that's going to be, so.
That's fair.
Also, I can't tell you exactly when this is going to end, because I don't know. I can't control y'all.
It depends how much we bullshit.
Exactly, so. Possibly 2 episodes, possibly another 5. Who knows? I don't.
But either way,
let's just roll on into it.
It's all possible.
We were close. We were so close. We were so close. I'm gonna turn off your camera specifically and your mic and just end it. Just a blank space where you are. Alrighty. Without further ado, I will recap of the last session. So we left the party after settling up the nightmare of Eugene's memories. The students realized that one of their own was missing from the room. One Cornelius Cobbler. After speaking with various faculty members and gaining a promise from both Lady Von Stein and Professor Moriarty, no small feat, that they would search for the missing Cornelius, the rest of the party went about their day training for the tournament. Excuse me. After some tense moments with General Weimer that gave some interesting information to the party, they decided to go to his personal training area under the bleachers that instead found themselves teleported to a sort of large wooded grotto with a pond in the center. Fighting against some necrotic wolves summoned by the keeper of the pond that the party had encountered, we return now with them having just come through the portal again, injured and possibly questioning what just happened. So the 3 of you stepped through that same sort of darkened portal, and you are back in the Coliseum, in the training area.
I'm possibly guessing what just happened. I have no
Everything
idea.
hurts.
We need our little friend to tell us what happened, because I have no idea what just happened.
I don't know.
Where's Professor? You need some answers. We need answers.
Looking around, you see that there are still students doing their regular training. You don't see General Weimer, at least not immediately. You don't see him, but you do see other students doing their regular combat training.
Okay. Well, I don't see them.
No.
Object permanence. If we don't see them, they're not there anymore. They're not real.
Well, if they don't exist, then that would probably be for the best at this point.
Kind of.
Yeah.
What should we do? Should we... I think it's enough training for one day.
Yeah. Very practical applications, and I don't want to go through that again.
Yeah, and that was a more impractical application, really.
Yeah, it was kind of life and death, and the tournament isn't supposed to be that scary.
I mean, he did say we're gonna fight a bunch of stuff, so we could actually fight things like that. Also, I don't think I could do another round of stuff. I'm kind of beat the fuck up. Also, I don't think I took off the extra 5 damage from when I did my rings. So I'm
You did.
even more beat the.
You did,
I
actually.
You did.
Yeah,
Did
I
I?
remember you doing
You already
it.
did, yeah. I mean, I still looking at what Wilret looks maybe the most beat up out of your group.
Probably.
There are scars on their face where like they pulled out those sort of mushrooms. Their face is bloody. You can see that they've got claw marks on their chest. There is a bite wound just right on their wrist, like right where their like wrist and arm meet. I don't know
Like,
what this is called. They do not look
both of
good.
you
Forearm?
got really
Forearm.
hurt. Like, really hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah, I
sitting
don't.
there entirely unscratched, trying
Yeah.
to, like, clean my
Eugene also
nails.
doesn't look great. I'm gonna be honest. You two look like you got maybe a little too messed up. More than
I'm
school usually
almost half the
happens.
man I used to be.
I am 3/4 of the man I used to be.
Ugh.
Or I'm 1/4 of the man I
1/4.
used to be.
Perhaps you two should rest, or...
You do know that there is a sort of nurse's office at the school.
That's good. That's
The
good.
school-
We should...
Let's go there. Let's go
The
there.
school does have nursing offices.
What do
The
we?
god in my head just told me we should go to the nurse's office.
What should we tell them?
That we were practicing, and you got fucked up.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not quite sure what else we should tell them. I know we should tell them that, maybe... all the teachers here are criminals, so I think even if we told them that they sent us off to some fairyland where we had to fight a bunch of ravenous dogs.
Hmm. If maybe Lady Von Stein could help us.
Well, I'm very sure she could raise us from the dead and use us as pawns.
No.
but-
Like talking about like other dimensions that are like gateways and stuff. Because like how she kind of splits the room when there are different classes going on.
Oh yeah. We should nurse first.
Prefer to be in one piece and not split between many rooms.
No. Like she splits the room
Like
itself.
talk
Oh,
to
you're
her
saying, like,
about
go to her for advice? Okay, well, all right.
like
We can
talk
go
to
to
her
asking
about the portal.
like how it happened and all that.
All right, that would make sense. Sure.
But
we
first, I
can
want
do
to make sure that my friend is safe and not actually
that.
dying. Maybe.
Anyone out here, don't go between the bleachers unless you want to die.
You see a couple of
Probably
students.
fucking one of them just goes.
I know you see a couple of students sort of pause. One person immediately turns to it and takes a step, and another student just grabs them and goes, "Nope, we're not doing that."
No, seriously. Don't
Seriously,
fucking do it.
dangerous.
You know-
Entirely other world with ravenous dogs, and
That's-
they do not like being pet.
That sounds
Point.
so interesting.
Do you want to look like this?
Do I get a cool scar
or
out of
this?
it?
No.
Okay, well that's maybe not as fun.
These all go away.
After
Just the
24
pain
hours. It's really
remain.
weird. Have anyone else noticed how we just heal overnight? Anyways, let's head to the nurse.
Yeah. I'm just gonna slowly limp along back to the nurse.
You see there are a couple of students who look
Gonna
at you
help you along.
in just straight up concern. So, I'm very burpy. Ooh.
Hi, Burpee. I'm Liz. Nice to meet you.
No, it's
Like,
the
carrying you?
It's the Coke. You know that mainly people get hurt, but not that hurt. Generally, so there's a cleric on standby, or more often than not, most people don't get super injured in ways that aren't visible to other students. Where it's like, it was part of a class or part of training, or like somebody accidentally fell off the roof because they were trying to like teleport the wrong place. Things like that. But rarely is it just like, oh, you look like you got messed up by something.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want me to carry you, or are you going to be good?
No, it's alright. I can walk. Everything just hurts.
I can just help you walk.
Also, I don't think I like mushrooms anymore.
I never liked them to begin with.
I did.
You think
My
you're
mom
gonna have
makes a really good mushroom casserole.
you think you're gonna have to
I'll name her right
reevaluate a good number of meals that you have.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we head to the nurse's office.
But yeah, so as the three of you limp over to the nurse's office, we're going to cut really quick to a different area of the school. A bit earlier in the day, something happened. Cornelius, you were a little frightened by Eugene's whole floating nightmare black eye thing going on. And while you felt pretty helpful being able to ground them and keep them from, it seems, floating up and
You're grounded.
just turning into a sort of black goo, while you were holding on to their legs, sort of putting your magic in to ground them, looking at your hands, you think you see a burst of fire as you are holding Eugene's legs in your own hand. I say this to a Cornelius.
Oh, I am so sorry. I missed you switched over to me. I zoned out.
No, you're good.
What was happening?
So while you were so earlier in the day, as you were sort of grounding grounding Eugene and using your magic to ensure that they sort of didn't float off into a tar kind of creature and like melt away, while you were holding their leg, you saw a burst of flame sort of erupt in your hands. So originally it was just your magic, sort of a red mist, pouring into Eugene's leg, and then after a moment, it seems to your hands burst into flames.
Gotcha.
And as you were saying there, you can see those flames. They're in your hands, and they're sort of starting to like travel up your arm.
Well, did they hurt?
They don't hurt, but you can see that they are starting to darken a little of Eugene's leg. As if they might, you're not sure if they've jumped from like the original like first degree burn to immediately third degree burns on Eugene's leg.
I see. Well, I don't want to burn Eugene, so I will remove my hands.
And as you let go, you sort of sever the connection between yourself and Eugene as you were tempering his magic, and you feel something start to tug at like the base of your stomach, as if it is pulling you somewhere. And you can feel the fire spread up your arms and across your body in a flash before you immediately just feel burning all over.
Does the tug feel like, do I have any intuition on it? Does it feel like it's going to pull me to safety or pull me somewhere bad?
Make an Arcana or Insight check, whichever is best.
That would be Arcana. 26.
You can feel that it's some kind of magical pull on you. You're not 100% sure where it's taking you, but it doesn't feel malicious, if that makes sense. You're not sure exactly where it's going to take you. You can't get a concrete idea of where it's leading, but you don't think
feel delicious?
It does. It feels delicious. It feels like an ice cream
well,
sundae.
if it feels delicious, off I go. No, yeah, I will just look at whoever's closest to me, say, I'm going, and just follow wherever it goes.
Mm-hmm.
It feels so good.
Closest to you would be Salem, who was a little busy with their Nat 1, trying to just hold on to Eugene's leg. But yeah, so as you disappear entirely, you feel yourself in a sort of blank void that seems full of fire. Everywhere you look, it's sort of a bright, vibrant red. And as you're looking around, you feel something, it is like leading you through this fiery hellscape. That sort of tug on your stomach.
Does it still hurt?
So as
pain of it gone away?
Yeah, so the pain has gone away entirely. Once you felt yourself surrounded by this fire, you no longer felt any pain. It felt like the sort of soothing warmth of when you're next to a fire or sitting near the fireplace and sort of regaling comfortable memories.
Can I try to manipulate the fire in my hand?
Yeah. Go ahead and I would say, I guess, what is your casting ability again? And make an intelligence check. Just a raw intelligence.
Nat 1. That's a 5.
So you immediately try and manipulate this sort of warm feeling, this sort of magical feeling, and you see bright bursts of light around you as if the fire grows brighter in different locations. And that tugging sensation in your stomach goes away, and you are immediately adrift in this fiery place. As you see, it stops becoming just fire and starts pulling open what look like fiery portals. Peeking into, like, looking around, you see a couple of them look like a completely barren desert landscape with nothing in sight, with just sand as far as the eye can see. Another one you immediately look over, and it sounds like endless screaming. Just the sound of people screaming in agony.
Oh dear, that's bad.
But at the farthest end, you can see what you think that sort of tug at your stomach was pulling you towards, and it's a soft, fiery portal, and inside of it you can see just a wall of books.
Okay. But I am not headed towards that one anymore.
You are no longer moving, you are now sort of stationary. So once you tried to manipulate it and failed, you are now just sort of floating in the middle of all of these different portals.
If I move my little arms, can I like swim through this ether?
Yeah. So you start swimming towards it. It's a little bit slower than just the pull that you had, but you definitely are able to get movement.
Okay. I will very slowly swim my way to the library.
You swim through this sort of fiery area and swim towards this wall of books, and once you get through the portal, there is a brief flash of fire again in your vision before you tumble out in one of the aisles of the library, of the school library.
Huh. Well, that was weird. Am I still on fire?
You are no longer on fire.
That's good.
You've been completely put out. There's no fire in the library as well.
That's also good. Fires and libraries they don't mix.
You don't want to burn down the school library?
Not particularly. I like the school library.
But yeah. So you find yourself in between one of the aisles of the school library. Looking to your right, you see a couple of books on the history of mathematics.
I'm going to make note of those because I might check them out later. They sound interesting. Okay. For now, I'm going to find a window and see if it's the same time of the day.
Oh yeah, you stand up, walk around. The windows in the library are a little high for you, but you can definitely see through them, and it is daytime. The sun does not look as high in the sky, so you think it might have been maybe an hour or so. Like, time has definitely passed. So it is not exactly the same time, but you're not sure how long it's been. Could have been a couple of hours, could have been a couple of days, you don't know.
Okay. The last place I saw my friends were at the dorms.
Yes.
Is the dorm within 120 feet of me, where I am right now in the library?
Let me real quick pull up the school map. I don't... Actually, yeah, you're in the library. So, it would be within 120 feet. The dorm building, at least, that Eugene is in.
Okay. I'm going to cast message in the general direction of the dorm room, hoping to find Salem, if she's still over there. Just saying, I don't know why, but I'm in the library, and wait and see if she answers.
I would say during this time, so this would be when you three are walking towards the nurse's office. Does message have a specific direction, or is it any direction in 120 feet?
I think I have to.
I think you have to be.
Yeah, you have to point in the direction they're in. So if they've moved, which I know they have, but Cornelius doesn't, I don't think then it would work.
Then yeah, you would. That spell fails. You feel it failing.
All right, they went somewhere else. I knew we were gonna go training. Yeah.
Yeah, so you knew that you were probably gonna go. Of the things your friends would do, it would be go train.
All right, I'm going to put the history of mathematics on hold for myself to pick up when I bring back my other books. And then I'll head over to the training ground and hope I can find my friends.
Alrighty. So, as you're on your way to the training grounds, I would say you would meet up then because the path to the training grounds is also the path that you three would be taking towards the nurse's office. So you three, you head out of the training grounds. You're on your way to the nurse's office, correct?
Yes.
So yeah, you three are limping along, and as you are sort of limping along the path, you see Cornelius just step out of the library.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Wait, he was in the library the whole time?
I found you guys pretty fast. That's convenient.
Probably should have checked there.
We literally thought you were dead.
To be fair, there might have been a passing moment where I thought that too.
I mean,
want a ride?
I would love a ride.
I will pick you up and put you on my shoulder.
What happened to Wilret?
They're dying. We should probably get them to the nurse's office.
Yeah. Can we keep moving, walk and talk?
Yeah.
everything
We
is
were
correct.
training, and the professor that doesn't like magic directly sent us towards magic, to which we walked through said magic and were attacked by giant dogs? Dogs.
Zombie dogs.
Everything I thought I knew about my life here's a lie.
Because clearly this professor that, hates magic also uses magic.
Huh. Well, maybe it's because of the fact they use magic that they hate magic. Maybe they hate their magic.
But if he hates his own magic,
No, they kind of hate all their magic.
why would he
Can I
use...
get an insight check from you, Wilret? Or a
No.
history check?
why would he
History
use magic?
insight.
Whichever is better.
Might be surprising. They are the exact same.
I figured.
That dice went rolling. Far away. That is going to be a solid 10.
I mean, that is solid.
That is a solid roll. You never
Considering
really...
You have a +0, I assume.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
And then I'm sorry, I think I cut you off, Danny.
Huh?
I think you were saying something and I cut you off.
Oh no, it's just the whole, why would he use his own magic?
Oh, okay.
Why would he hate it?
Wilret, you have never really given much thought to why General Weimer is the way he is. It's kind of confusing, but you never really think hard on it.
Right.
But you remember the day he gave you your ring. And you remember how he gave it to you, which is taking it off his own finger and handing it to you.
Did the teacher propose to you?
I don't think that's supposed to happen.
You don't know that's what happened.
I know.
Maybe he just hates his own magic. It's really hard to think right now.
Well, yes. In fact, you have a giant gash right there.
Their whole face
Yeah.
looks mess. It looks
My
like
whole face is just drying blood now.
it's drying blood. There are a lot of rips and tears on your own face.
Yep.
It doesn't look good.
Yep. So we should probably get you to the place where they will prevent you from dying.
I'd really appreciate that. I'll look at Cornelius. I had mushrooms growing out of my face.
Oh,
They did.
that sounds horrible.
It was kind of gross.
And then I ripped him out with my bare hands.
They also did that. They should have wore gloves.
Probably.
Minus
Maybe.
1
Bare
point for
hands?
not wearing gloves.
Just 1 point for not wearing gloves.
You took an extra point of damage for the fact that you just had dirty hands.
I will if you want me to.
No, you're good.
So
It's infected now.
your magic hating instructor sent you
Yeah.
into a place
Yeah.
where you were attacked by giant dogs and mushrooms grew on your face?
Well, when one of the dogs died, it exploded in spores, and I think I was just too close to it, and then they things started growing out of my face, and then I kind of knocked them off, and then they kept growing and taking roots, and I realized that they're actually like mushrooms, and then I started ripping them out by their roots out of my face, and then blood came out with them, and now I look like this.
The treasure was the mushrooms we grew along the way. Anyways,
Suddenly, my bizarre trip into a burning portal with screaming vast voids doesn't seem so bad.
oh, you'll have to tell us about that once we get Wilrat here to the nurse's office.
Seems like you all had a time. I'm going to assume you were walking and talking while you were doing this,
Yeah.
and weren't just
Well,
standing
I'm
around.
walking.
We weren't standing still.
Yeah. So while that was conversation, you guys, I would say you stopped for a moment just because you were outside of the nurse's office. So yeah, you guys all stop. You find yourself in front of the nurse's office. It's Bitwiki Hall. It's the name of it. Rarely do any of you have reason to go here. Most people don't go to the nurse's office unless they have to.
I rarely get hurt.
The only few who do actually show up here outside of like being hurt are a couple of the more naturally inclined students, because you know this is also where the greenhouse is. So yeah, so
I get hurt a lot, but I just don't tell people.
that's not healthy. So you push open. So the nurse's office is a large greenhouse. So every wall is covered in a sort of floor to ceiling window. Except for the main doors, which even themselves are mostly see-through. Stepping in, you can see just covered in plants. Wall to wall, sort of all around the edges of the room are plants. In the center is a large fountain with sort of bubbling over water. And you can see massive flowers like towering over and growing all kinds of different sort of reagents and plants and healing herbs, sort of growing everywhere throughout this. And you can see above you there is perhaps another floor with more plants growing up there.
Are we just in the Great Fairy Fountain? Is there like weird
I was
harp
about to
music?
say that's why. Yeah, that kind of.
Is giant booba lady about to appear?
I was gonna say
Yes.
giant scantily clad lady.
No, but you do see the nurse. She's sort of pouring water on one of the. She has like a watering can, and she is pouring it on one of the flowers. You all have kind of met her. I believe, Eugene, you probably know her the most since you started here, and she teaches, as well as being the school nurse, she also teaches all of the young kids. So they're like people who are genuinely too young to join in other classes. Her name is Miss Delilah. She is a large, she is actually a very large, a busty woman. she is a perhaps busty satyr woman with like rounded horns on her head. She wears all pink with sort of bright daisies on each of her horns, sort of like flowers interwoven in her hair. She stands. She has flowers sort of growing and vines wrapped around her satyr leg. She wears all pink. She's a little top heavy. You think she might her hooves themselves are painted with a sort of pink nail polish, and she just immediately turns and smiles and goes, "Oh, hi there, darlings." Oh,
hey there, Delilah.
You don't look good, my dear.
Everything hurts, and I kind of wish I was dead.
They had mushrooms growing out of their face.
Now, don't say that. Mushrooms are a gift and a part of the cycle of regrowth and rebirth, but perhaps not in your face.
They were regrowing and rebirthing all in the same time as being alive.
I felt their roots crawling beneath my skin against the muscle and slowly burrowing its way into my bone.
Oh, that's terrible.
I will never eat another mushroom.
Oh, that's a shame. Now, you two maybe don't look the best. I would recommend... Okay, you two, come here. And she sort of like waves both Eugene and Wilred over. Goes, okay, come.
Yep.
You two come over.
I'm gonna help you hobble over.
Yeah.
And you see she, once you two get over, she immediately puts a hand on both of your shoulders and gives you a forehead kiss, Eugene, and you a forehead kiss, Wilret. And you both yourselves heal 60 HP immediately.
60 HP?
From just her kissing both of your forehead. She goes, okay. Now does that feel better? Do you feel...
Yeah.
How strong are you?
Shit.
Are you a god?
Maybe I should go to the nurse more often.
No, I'm a satyr. Your friend is also one.
I
I understand this. Okay, so I do have some questions. Every teacher here seems to be a criminal. What is your legal act?
Oh, I'm not. Well, no, I'm not a criminal.
Okay.
Mm,
I'm gonna assume it's something you're growing. Anyways, thank
Oh,
you.
do you need something? Oh, yeah, go ahead and roll insight. Do you need something that
Mm,
I am growing? I can provide you with any kind of herbs or reagents you need.
oh, really?
That's a 9.
With a 9, she said she's not a god. You don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, I meant in terms of the criminal thing.
Oh, the criminal thing. Again, don't know if that's true or
Right.
not. Both of those are the same answer
I'm
on
also
maybe.
curious.
She said no, but do you believe her?
I mean, I have a +0 to insight and I rolled a 19.
She says she's not a criminal, and you're kind of inclined to believe her. It doesn't look like she's committed anything illegal and at least been caught.
Okay, so all of these plants are illegal. I know it's not, but that's what's gonna happen.
No, so I'm not a criminal. I'm not a god. I know that might be a concern for some of you students, but I can promise you I am not any kind of deity or patron. I am simply blessed
Okay,
with.
I need an insight check on that too.
Go ahead.
And not being a patron, like I don't. That's a natural 20 on D&D Beyond loves me right now.
So she says she's
Right.
not a patron. You can tell she's not lying about that. At the very least, if she is a patron, she doesn't know it. But she is definitely saying she's
This
not a
is the
patron, and she
first
means
teacher,
it.
I think, who isn't. So
You think there
She
might
may
be
not be a
something
patron.
going on with like her magic, like she might just be incredibly strong. You think there's some. You're kind of unsure what's. Every teacher at this school has something going on, so you're pretty sure there's something happening. But at the very least, she's not a criminal, not a god or deity, and not a patron to anyone.
I'm
She may
pretty
not be a
sure
patron,
something's
but can I
happening here,
worship
but you're
her?
not a criminal, you're not a deity, and all right.
Uh,
Heck, not
What
even Eugene's
was
state.
no,
what was the name of the flower that was stolen?
that's a good question. Why would you ask
Don't
me
ask
that?
the DM to name their flower.
I did name it. Do I remember? No.
I only wrote down a flower was stolen, so maybe I don't know either. That's fine.
I gave it a name. Do I remember said name? I wrote it down somewhere.
I might have it. Hold on.
I'm going through my notes, and I don't see it.
Oh no, I literally just wrote down stole a flower.
I don't know.
Okay, maybe we didn't find that out then. That's okay.
I don't remember if I gave it a name or not. So, if I did, we'll make one up again.
Man, I should really start going to the nurse for things.
But
That's
yes,
the easiest I've ever healed.
yeah, you've never been to the nurse, despite being
Nope.
injured multiple times, and definitely
That'll
in a way
save
that
you 8 whole hours of rest. to
definitely
heal.
in ways that you think you should have gone to the nurse. You just never went. General Weimer
There's
was
one
kind of on
time
the.
I broke my hand and I just wrapped it up and called it a day and hoped for the best.
You've kind of been taught to tough it out by General Weimer. That's sort of the thing he says to every student. Is tough it out.
That's not a good way for your hand to heal.
Oh yeah, no, I can't close it all the way anymore.
Uh,
And it really aches before it rains.
do you need me to? I can
Nope.
help you with that.
Wait,
If you-
really?
Yes. That's my.
Does it involve
sort of
breaking it
profession.
again?
No. That is my.
I mean, you can if you need to.
No, I wouldn't do that. I don't hurt students. That's not. That's the opposite of my job.
I don't understand.
Give me your hands.
Okay.
And you see she sort of takes your hand and then holds it in both of hers and goes. She sort of looks at it and then you see she whispers something and you can feel your hand sort of like it doesn't ache anymore like it used to. Like feels like when you can close it all the way and it doesn't hurt. You don't feel any of your bones sort of doing that like shifting thing.
My thumb doesn't even pop anymore.
She goes, yes, that's not. Again, if you have problems, it is fully my job to deal with them. If you have any sort of health concerns, any sort of issues like that, I will help you in any way I can.
Shit.
Whether they're physical, mental, whatever you need, it is my job to help you.
Shit. It's awesome.
I'm sorry, did you just say you can cure mental?
I can't cure them. That's
Okay.
It's a little bit more of a, but I'm a guidance counselor. It is my job to help you with
Oh,
whatever
you're also
issues.
the guy. That makes sense. So the guidance I need is, why is every teacher here other than you a criminal?
I wouldn't say criminals. They're misled. Or criminals in the case of Professor Moriarty. But most
Mhm.
of them here are misled. When you have large amounts of power, you start to feel a little reckless and as if the rules don't apply to you anymore. And that's just something that comes with age and large amounts of power. You start to believe that you are above whatever rules are set forth for other people. I would say that's an issue a lot of the professors here have.
Mm.
The rules apply, but not to them.
So, do they offer any kind of counseling for students who are getting powerful to prevent that from happening in the future?
I generally recommend it. Not very many students come by for that kind of counseling, but I do recommend it. Many of them start taking apprenticeships with teachers who are also power hungry. But if any of you, you all seem like generally strong and powerful students, if you would like to come by and we can sort of talk through that kind of growth and make sure you find healthy outlets for that kind of power, I can definitely work with you.
Cool.
That's good.
Yes.
Well,
Are you all injured in any other ways? Anything else I should help you with? This is a bit of a first for me. Not many students come by, except for the younger ones. The smaller kids sort of come by for, but they have a paper cut or someone got a thorn stuck in their wrist or something like that. Simple things.
She's probably calling me out for things that I did when I was little.
Yeah, she definitely for a moment side eyes you, and you remember you got a thorn stuck in your thumb, and you were crying for hours, and you had to be taken to the
Inconsolable.
you were inconsolable and had to be put in the nurse's office, and she had to go through the whole like, I'm taking it out and see this magical paste that I'm putting on and bandaging it up, doing like when you do just a little too much for kids to make them feel special.
cool. Good to know.
But I'm always here, even if people forget that I am. Also, if you catch any of the younger years, first year or younger, out and about, please send them my way. They should not be wandering around.
Okay.
One of the students, some of tiefling twins, snuck a child out of the sort of younger students' hall, and I don't know where they went. And I've kind of been looking everywhere.
Okay,
What?
Which, do you know who?
Who they snuck out?
Yes.
Oh, one of the small. I believe her name is. Me. Tiffany.
She's telling us this?
Not
Yes,
my brother. Don't care.
If you find it, so students are allowed to leave their dorms. But if you were perhaps able to find one, could you please tell me where they are? She's.
But it was a girl. It's not a boy.
No, it's a girl. Her name's Tiffany.
All right.
She's
don't care then.
6 years old.
I mean, don't die, Tiffany. But
I don't think. Never mind.
they're trying to marry him.
That's. I don't. I hope not.
I don't think that.
I don't think that's. I hope that's not what's happening. I doubt that that's what's going on.
I mean, they're kind of assholes. So.
Yes, I've had trouble with them when they were younger and here at the school.
If either of them show up with broken noses, it's not my fault.
She looks at you immediately in like confusion. It's like, okay, I won't think it's your fault then. I hope they don't get broken noses.
People fall down all the time.
And break their. Okay, I feel like you're threatening them, but tangentially.
I would never.
Okay.
All right, gotta go.
If you see a blonde hair, green-eyed, 6-year-old with 2 tiefling twins, please let me know.
Check.
Okay, really, should you be telling us this?
Yes?
Should this not be announced over an intercom or
No,
someone with thaumaturgy just announcing, hello,
No,
student missing?
I would prefer if the headmistress didn't know this.
Oh, I was thinking it was because you didn't want the tieflings to know you were onto them.
I'm just gonna
That too.
glance towards Salem and just smell negligence. Not criminal, but negligent.
Yeah, that's accurate. Yeah. Well,
Yes,
thank you
they seem
for your time.
Thank
High
you.
five.
And for saving my friend and possibly reversing chances of scars and other issues for
Yeah.
eternity.
So, speaking of, so the two of you felt healed, and immediately you feel not just like healed, as if none of those wounds were ever going to scar. You don't feel any kind of scarring or leftover wounds. You think even some older scars might have gotten a little healed up.
Pulls up uniform shirt to see if the scar when I broke my elbow and the bone was sticking out. Nah, man, it's gone. Damn it. I liked that one.
It's not completely gone, but it's definitely faded as if it's been years.
Oh, man. Let's check what other scars are missing.
Oh, yes. Oh, also, as a heads up, if two students perhaps tell you that they need two tiefling students tell you that they need to take you somewhere, do not go with them.
Got it.
No.
But also, in the same vein, what if that's the way to find where Tiffany went?
Notify me. I wouldn't go with them. They've been troublemakers for years. And they've tricked a 6-year-old, and I am a little concerned on how they got to her at all. She was in her dorms, so again, that is not. I would not trust those two.
All right.
This kind of behavior doesn't get them
Backing
expelled.
away now and have been for a while.
Yep.
Technically speaking, they haven't done anything wrong. You are allowed to
No,
walk
that's
with other
cool.
students.
We are just leaving now.
Okay.
If that's okay.
I'm looking around to see if there's the little cup of lollipops.
I am technically backing away as well because I believe Salem's carrying me.
You are.
Yep.
There is a tiny cup of lollipops. There actually isn't a cup of lollipops. There is instead a small row of jars of different kinds of candies.
Oh, hell yeah.
There are lollipops, chocolates, like little suckers, sour ones, and then as well as like different kinds of arcane candy for different races.
There's chocolate out that.
There are little chocolates. There's an entire row of just candy in little bowls.
I'm just gonna kind of inch over, just
Yes, please take one. You both deserve
little
it.
chocolate.
Oh, I already had my hand in a jar. Oh, thanks.
Yes. Please do take just one.
Puts my
I'm
handful back
sorry.
and takes one.
Nope. My sleight of hand was a 9, so.
She goes, please, just one. It is.
All right.
It's not good for you to eat multiple. It's bad for your teeth. Candy is not, perhaps, the best. There are natural candies if you would prefer. I can get you some fruits or nuts.
Nope. I
Oh.
am backing out of this room.
Yep.
Oh, goodbye, fruits and nuts.
Oh. Yeah. Could I get some fruits and nuts real quick?
Yes. And she goes, okay, give me one moment. And she walks over to one of the plants and sort of
Sleight of
picks.
hand to get more chocolate.
Y'all.
Guys, we have to.
I would
This
like
is
to
why we're
sleight of
never
hand.
gonna
This
get to this
I know.
tournament.
This is why I was like, okay, listen. She
I
goes,
would like to sleight of hand the whole jar.
not the whole jar.
26.
See if she gets in that 20.
I got an 18 for just a couple extra pieces of chocolate, so if anything, I'll be a good cover for you.
25.
Cool.
Oh.
I've got a jar.
She's gonna steal a whole jar of candy. How dare you? You do.
And I'm gone.
Extra chocolates.
Yep. So she's not paying attention. So she definitely catches you. She cuts down a couple of fruits, puts them in a little bowl. They're not peeled or like cut up or anything. She hands it to you, little Rhett. She just cuts some down from some of the plants. She immediately spots you, Eugene, and goes, you can take 2. How's that?
2 more, thank you.
No, 1 more for you. Okay. And
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then you all leave.
Yeah, we leave.
2 more.
We are leaving. I'm grabbing you by the back
You're
of
out.
your shirt.
Y'all are out.
Has anyone else noticed the tendency where I try to leave a room and the teachers just start spilling everything bad they've done? Do I have this effect on people where they just want to give me blackmail?
No.
It's definitely not criminal, but it is negligent in nature.
Technically
Okay,
not.
well,
Again, you're
I
allowed to take
chose
students
the
to
head
other places.
for no reason.
She told you this before you were
Go
leaving.
I'm gonna go see Lady Von Stein about the whole
Oh, fine, we'll
dimension
go
thing.
see Lady Von Stein.
No,
But
you can do your thing and I can do mine and then we can just meet up for is it like close to dinner or
Yeah, it's close to lunch.
lunch? Okay. And then we could all just come back
and as
and
we're having this conversation, I'm just eating out of the jar.
at lunch and
Can I have you make a con save? If you're eating, how many do you eat?
oh my god.
I've only eaten one so far.
Okay. You said you.
Now I'm eating a second one.
Yeah, go ahead and make a con save for me.
6.
And then I need one of you. 2. Where's 3? Doot. Doot, doot. Doot, doot, doot. Well, you regain, if you've already lost them, 4 spell slots.
No, I'm good actually. I think. Well, I guess. All right.
That's what the effect is.
I feel pretty rejuvenated right now. Anyways, I'm gonna just take this thing of candy and just put it into my bag and sell them for 10 million gold.
That's not
Are
how
they
money
useful?
works.
Could we maybe like hold on to them and use them during the tournament?
Well, yes, we can in fact use them during the tournament, but I have a feeling these are incredibly valuable.
Or is it like considered not allowed?
Oh, nothing I did was allowed.
Well, no, but like I mean, in the regards of the tournament, I'm just gonna go to Lady Von Stein.
Okay,
all right.
You guys do your thing. We'll meet at lunch.
Every teacher here is a criminal.
But there are rules to your tournament. Do you want to get disqualified from your true wish?
I guess we could just ask somebody.
True. Also, so what's happening? You're going to talk to Lady Von Stein about what?
About the possibility of that friggin' pocket dimension bullshit.
What
and showing up at the bleachers in the forest place.
The rest of you, what are you doing?
I'll just follow. I'm no longer interested in this teacher.
Okay.
I'm very interested in the teacher, but
something else you wanted to do?
When is the tournament? It's not the same day, right?
No, it's not today. It's in a week. If we get to it, I'm going to just fast forward time.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I'm like, I didn't set my spells based on the tournament being today.
No, it is not today. It is in 1 week. But yeah. Are you going
to? Maybe we should look for a written rule book and see if they disqualify these candies, because if they don't, this could be very good.
Okay, so to the library? Oh my god, never thought I'd say that.
Okay.
I instantly go to check your temperature.
Just, you good?
Maybe this is why I don't go to the nurse. So I guess I can go to the library with you if you want.
There's that, or though I don't think you want to talk to your teacher right now because he gave you advice earlier that was on the down low, but
yeah,
he also made mushrooms grow out of your face. So that's not library.
I have to sit down and think about the fact that my entire school career has just been one massive lie, and my teacher is probably a terrible person.
Good luck, and I'm just gonna start walking.
Yep, I'll take Cornelius from Salem and start heading to the library.
All right, 2 of you to the library, the other 2 to Lady Von Stein.
Oh, also I got you the nuts and fruits.
Oh, thank you.
From the nurse.
I don't really like candy, but these are good.
You have a little bowl of like apples and grapes and nuts.
I will munch on them on the way, but very carefully so no crumbs land on Wilret.
Nice. Alrighty, so let us start then with Eugene and Salem, we'll start with you. So you two, you head on over to Lady Von Stein's classes. She still has, she has a different course, but they're still taught in the same area. And you knock on one of the classroom doors. Go ahead. Are you going into the classroom, or are you just going to wait until class is over?
I'm just going to wait until it's over.
Yeah, I'll wait till class is over as well.
Alrighty. So you kind of hit the sweet spot of like right between transition period, where it's like 5 minutes, and then once this class is over, it's the next class. So you're only there for about 5 minutes before you see students sort of like pouring out of the different classrooms. And you can see that like the walls shudder for a moment, and the 3 classrooms collapse into one.
Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty sweet. Okay, ready? Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so you 2 step inside the classroom, and you can see Lady Von Stein. She's sort of like shuffling papers, and it looks like she's putting away a lesson plan, wiping down one of the chalkboards.
Just as we're walking in, I just kind of like, hi again.
Hello. I forgot what her voice was. What can I help you with?
So we have it's kind of a weird question. And
I knew again.
a little hypothetical. I'm doing better, by the way. It's okay. I'm okay. Like I wasn't
good.
okay a minute ago, but I am now. But like okay. It's kind of weird to explain. So we went over to do training for the tournament and everything, and we got to we went over to the training area, the training grounds, and we were looking for a private place because there were still classrooms going on, and so the general was like, okay, yeah, here's a secret room where you can go into, and we went through. It was between the bleachers, and then we ended up in a place we weren't supposed to be.
Most students aren't allowed behind the bleachers, so I suppose...
He gave us permission.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, so everyone's aware of this location behind the bleachers?
There's a No, students aren't allowed to go behind... So you went to a different location? I assumed you'd meant...
No, a pocket universe, like...
Ah.
Kind of.
A forest.
Scary, mushroom leaves lady.
Mushrooms grew out of our friend's face.
That's not... you said a mushroom woman?
Yeah.
Did she have a sort of high collar, sort of large mushrooms in the bottom of her dress?
She was just flaunting her big dog privileges.
And multiple dogs. Did she perhaps come out of a pond of water?
Yeah, and again, flaunting those dogs.
Okay. Give me one moment. You see she sort of turns to her, one of the desks.
And if it's important, there's apparently a child missing with a bunch of tieflings.
There's a, what?
We'll take care of that after this.
Okay. I mean, get one moment. You see she opens her drawer, and Salem, you remember she did that earlier this morning when she pulls out the file for each of you, the file that she was looking at Cornelius before, and now you see she pulls out a file for you, for Eugene, and for Wilret. Goes, okay. Sort of holds them, green mist pours out of her fingers, and then they each fill with paper. She goes, okay. Yeah, that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so none of you left this plane today. Well, none of you 3 didn't leave your plane, this plane.
Did you know that General Welmer likes to use magic?
I am aware that he has some latent skills that he prefers not to use.
He's the one who told us to go behind the bleachers and fight the giant
I
creepy mushroom lady. And
I believe there might have been a mix-up, it seems.
That's good to know. I'm glad that we were sent to our deaths for a mix-up.
That portal is not... I don't know if he has a portal that he might... I don't know where he... if he has one or not, but at least that location is not his. It is mine. That is my wife. She is very protective of her grotto, and I believe she doesn't like students being there.
Sorry for intruding in that area.
No, it's fine. I don't know how that got there. You shouldn't be able to.
She got really mad at me and said that I shouldn't be there, and my kind shouldn't be there, and I felt really bad. And I don't know why.
We're gonna have to have a talking to. Living creatures should not be able to go through it, and last I've checked, you were all alive, correct?
I check my own pulse.
It's
At this
there. It's
point,
actually
I'm just
slow.
going to say no.
I'm
Oh,
okay. So living creatures should not pass through that portal. It's really not something physically capable. Obviously, she goes up, but and waves her hand over both of you, and you both just light up green for a moment. And she goes, "No, you're both alive."
why was it
It's
slow?
good. It's good.
Slow.
Um,
What is your heart rate? Your not every species' heart rate is the same. Some have slower, some have faster. You might perhaps be one that is of a slower rate.
Okay.
You're both alive, so you shouldn't have been able to go through
it's
there,
good. It's good.
at least
I
according to
was
my
concerned for
readings.
a moment.
So that's not. Also, not in a sort of insulting way. Why were you being sent to a portal by General Weimer?
We were just sent to a private practicing area. He said it would be a place where we could train in private for the tournament because there were still classes going on
Yeah,
in the
I'm
area.
90% certain they're trying to fix the tournament in their favor.
I would believe that. You do have a favorite student of his on your team.
So it's just that.
Okay, I'm going to. Okay, I'm going to have a talk with General Weimer. I don't know where he's getting portals. I don't think he can even create them.
I'm gonna pull out the jar of candy and be like, "Candy,
Oh no, I don't eat mortal food.
perfect. Put it back." Just had to be
Thank you for
polite.
the offer. That was very polite of you. Would you like Would you like some tea?
Sure. At this point, perfect.
She goes, oh, I'll get you two some tea. And that might
It is
help you.
not the weirdest thing I've been offered at this school.
You see she sort of pulls button behind her desk at a little tea set, and so it's immediately, she puts, I forgot how tea sets work. She makes tea.
She makes tea.
I forgot how tea sets work. And like water and all, there's water and tea leaves, and they go in a thing. I forgot how tea works. I don't remember how to make tea. It's left my mind. Um, But yeah, so you two, as you were making tea, can I have each of you, or she's makes tea, can I have each of you make a perception check?
Okay. 17.
That natural 20 and 19 really screwed me on the rest of the rolls. That's a 7.
Oof. And what was your roll again, Eugene?
Did I say 17?
I think so.
I think.
17 or
Something
19.
around there.
One
Somewhere
of those.
around there.
So seven. Either way, a 17 would pass, even and so would a 19. You see, as she is making her tea, her hands are shaking, as she's sort of like pouring tea into both of your cups. She goes, right, okay, and for you, and you. You see, she just sort of pours some into her own and goes, right, here you are. I should hope that I will have to speak with General Weimer again about perhaps not injuring or traumatizing students. And, you said there was a missing child?
Yeah,
The
the
same.
negligent student counselor was saying that there was a bunch of tieflings that took a 6-year-old child or something.
I think
It's
it's the
probably
same
nothing.
for first years.
Oh, I wouldn't. That's not net. She should perhaps keep it close. She spends a little too much time in the greenhouse. She should perhaps keep a closer eye on the children. But if it's not technically, students are allowed to take out the students to other locations. That's not against school policy, but no one really trusts those two. I'm assuming it's the twins that you had dealt with earlier.
I
Considering
think
they
so.
tried to marry one of our friends earlier.
And did she say who they took or a description?
Blonde.
A blonde hair, green
Yeah.
eyes. Her name is Tiffany.
Oh dear,
What?
Tiffany's a very sweet girl. And a very powerful one, perhaps. I
Good.
I will.
I will say my experience at this school so far has been
Those two should be expelled.
wild.
Yes, we pride ourselves in unique experiences that you could get nowhere else.
Oh, well, I can assure you, you are 100% ahead of the yep on that.
You see, she just starts like rubbing her eye socket, like the sort. She has no bone here, but you can see she immediately like puts her hands there, and you can see it's sort of like a reflex as she grabs at nothing, and she just goes, "Ah, those two should be expelled. Why are they still at this school?"
Um, if it's any consolation, it might help if we try and we could try and trap let it lay a trap to try and help the twins, like, to find
You
the kid.
won't be able to out trick them. They're
Challenge accept.
Maybe, but I am kind of gullible enough to be bait.
that could work. I will track down Tiffany
They
alongside your
are a master
friend.
baiter.
I do no,
End of stream.
no, I don't.
I'll I have time now between classes. I'll look for Tiffany and your friend as well. Since you said.
We found our
Oh, you
best
found your
friend.
friend Cornelia. Okay. Good. Where were they? Did they end up in
Library.
another?
In the library, it was
I
nothing.
suppose that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I will look for Tiffany and ensure that those two don't, I don't know, trick her into using her magic or something.
Yeah.
And before we leave, did you want to reveal any secrets to us?
No, stop.
Um,
That's good enough.
Sorry?
Don't worry about it.
Can I ask you a patron thing? And it kind of if it no offense, Salem, but can I ask alone?
Uh, sure. And I leave the room, lean against the wall, and slide down it.
Out.
And just plop onto the ground.
You're just laying on the floor in the hallway.
I'm gonna take a nap right here.
Good night.
You see there are a couple of other students. One of them pours out of Moriarty's class and immediately just starts crying in the corner. He just sits down and goes sobbing violently.
I'm gonna walk over to them and offer them a candy.
I go, what? Oh, that is it gluten free?
I don't know.
It
But
doesn't
you
matter. I don't care about my diet.
gluten right now. And I'm gonna slide down the wall again and cry with them.
I just immediately like, it's not my fault. I don't know a bunch of advanced magic, and it's not.
Free teacher here's a criminal.
I don't understand it. Why is
Don't
he
understand.
We're always so mean. It doesn't make any sense.
Actual criminals.
I know.
First day,
I
teacher
just-
stole a flower from the guards.
Oh, that was your class. Oh God, we didn't even get that. No.
Every day.
No, you should have seen it. The jewelry making teacher. He killed 7 people. It's not. I don't understand. He said it was because they were stealing diamonds, but honestly, I don't even care anymore.
We don't have time to unpack all that.
I don't care who this student is, but we're in solidarity now, and we're just gonna cry together.
You're both just sobbing in the middle of the hallway. Well, that's happening. Eugene.
Okay, so, but before I ask any question, are you okay?
I'm sorry?
I'm no stranger to, when your hands are, and I know that you're really, really delicate with things, and, sorry if I'm making assumptions, but the tea set was kind of, shaking as you were trying to pour, and are you okay? Is there something going on? Should I not have told you that?
No, I'm fine. You are a student. You should not be concerned with adults' issues, whatever problems that I'm going through.
But we always concern you with our problems, and it's kind of not fair.
Because it's my job as the adult in the room to make sure that each of you are well taken care of.
Yeah, but you're not. But like you're not the counselor, and also
I'm not. I genuinely do not know why the students keep coming to me.
I'm sorry.
No, please. I love it. I don't understand why, but I find it very heartwarming.
I think that despite the whole like there's a counselor and there's a bunch of other teachers, it's kind of the whole thing that Salem was talking about with like
And
all the
from
teachers were like,
outside, you hear crying, and the Lich is the only good one.
You did
kind
just
of that. I
yes.
literally yeah, that.
That is that okay. That is a little nice to hear. I'm not sure what that's in context to, but
Also, I felt really bad. I don't know what she was referring to, but her wife called me something, and I don't know what it was, and I was kind of scared.
my wife has issues.
I already forgot that fact.
That was her wife.
Like, for fuck's sakes.
She has issues, and whatever she said to you, please do not take it to heart. Don't believe it.
No, it was
When
about who I am, and
she she can't make any accurate judgments on who you are as a person. You are a
I
very
don't know.
kind
It's
and
like it's
braced.
like something that I didn't realize that I could do, but now I can.
I'm sorry.
She call. I don't want to be whatever it is that this means.
And what exactly does this mean?
I don't know how you're gonna react if I tell you this.
I will never be angry with you. I am here to listen and here to help you process through your
Famous
emotions.
words before someone gets angry at
Famous
you.
fucking
I know.
last
It's like, I'm
word.
not going to be mad at you. Says something. I'm immediately mad at you. And even if I was upset, I would not express it to you.
I am so angry right now.
It's more concerning than the fact that you wouldn't.
I would never. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to say any sort of mean words. I am an adult and I should be in charge of my own emotions. To you, a child.
She said that I eat names.
You see later on, Sun just drops her cup.
Oh, fuck.
I believe I misheard.
No.
You eat names? Blood, perhaps, is more than likely what she meant. You might not.
I don't know. I don't know what I did.
Names. The sort of.
The wolf things were attacking us, and I don't know what I did, and I reached out and I heard it, and then it didn't disappear like the other ones. It just kind of collapsed.
Okay. Well, sometimes when fighting creatures, different spells may do different effects.
I don't want to be whatever that is.
Well, I'm not sure what that is, and I'm hoping it's not what I think it is. And I need to go to the restroom because I'm about to throw up. So I'll be right back.
You're a valid and we love you.
Just a break.
Is Von Stein gonna go
Or we can
John Wick on us?
We can go to break.
Go.
But
Kid,
yeah,
go. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
I'll put us on break.
We'll save when we come back.
Yeah.
Beat ya.
Hey y'all, welcome back. Apologies, I had some uncontrollable body functions that had to be dealt with.
Yeah.
So, but I'm back now. Fresh, refreshed. I got more water. Drank most of it already. Um,
Good.
I'm gonna be chugging water. But we're still here. We're still gonna keep going for a little bit. There's some pizza rolls that have to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, the soda did not help my stomach at all. I can just take Coke. Um, but yeah, there's some pizza rolls on this side happening, and then we will return to that scene. But you know what? While we're waiting,
Oh, okay.
and there was I think it's a nice smash cut to Lady Von Stein dropped her glass. As the sound of the teacup is shattering on the floor, we're gonna real quick, and there's the sobbing in the hallway. We're going to boo the library. Wilret and Cornelius, you two were headed off to the library to get some information about the tournament.
That we were.
So Cornelius, the library is such a familiar place to you. It is a little bit like a second home. It's where you feel comfortable and perhaps where your magic takes you when trapped in Hellfire. And Wilret, you have never once stepped foot in
I've
this
never
library.
been here before.
You actively try not. You've walked burnt to the library, to the door, but you don't go in. And stepping in the library, for a moment your brain just goes nerd central before you just remember that this is where it is covered in books. You can see a good number of especially magical students sitting at tables poring over arcane texts. You can see there's one student in a corner who's sort of taken up a table for themselves, and instead of sitting at the bench is sitting on the table with books just floating around their head. And just every now and then they will flip a page and then keep going, and then they will flip a page and then keep going. Cornelius,
I hope I can learn how to do that someday.
you've definitely talked to the student, and they have promised to teach you how to do that when you're a little bit more advanced. So they said once you reach 5th year, they'll teach you.
Amazing.
You know, I don't think I've ever been in here.
Really? Oh, I come
Yeah.
here a lot.
Huh. There's
Well,
not a lot of windows here.
Yeah, there are very few windows. It's kind of dark in here. Mostly it's arcane, crystal lighting, and it's got the same vibes as a casino where there are no windows, so you can never tell what time of day it is. And there are a few windows closer towards the aisles of the books themselves, but sort of the seating area where all the students sit to read, no windows.
it's because direct sunlight is bad for books. They get weathered and stuff. The pages fade, the covers fade.
I mean, isn't technically this lack of light reading without good light bad for your eyes?
Oh, well, yes, but most of us have, things that can glow or lights we can make. Magical lights are fine.
Huh.
You know that magic light generally doesn't have the same weathering effects as that. There was one student who was kicked out of the library and banned for casting daylight in the middle of the library.
That is fair. On a lot of levels.
They were just like, you can't come to the library anymore. No more.
All right, what are we looking for?
Well, tournament rules, which I'm not too sure what section they'd be in, so we'll find a librarian and ask.
Okay. Where do we find one of those?
The librarian, she sits at the front desk. It's the one you remember from the first episode. She is a small gnome woman with 3-foot platforms. Because I misspoke and said 3 feet instead of 3 inches. So she wears she wears 3-foot platform heels so that she can be as tall as a couple of the students. She rocks them. She wears them pretty well.
Get it.
You can tell that the platforms themselves are actually, you think inside of them there might be scrolls that you can pull out.
I will head over there and be like, I'm going to leave this to you to ask because I don't know.
No worries. I've got this. Excuse me, hello.
Oh, Mr. Cobbler, are you returning books? Are you here to check out the history of mathematics that you put on hold?
Not quite yet. I haven't been back to my room to pick up the books that I already have to bring them back and swap
I
it out.
see.
Actually, I'm looking for information.
Oh, what kind of information are you looking for? You can see as she asked that, she sort of grabs something out of her desk and pulls out what seems like endless scroll, and she's just pulling and pulling, and you know that that's where there is a list of every book in the library on that scroll. And she just starts pulling. What kind of information are you looking for?
Well, we're looking for rules, general rules for the school whenever they hold tournaments and the like.
School rules. She's sort of like, okay, and puts the paper, the scroll back, and then reaches to a different part of her desk, a different compartment, and pulls out. And here is the school handbook then. And it is a hefty, hefty tome. It is maybe this thick,
We have
and
a
just
handbook?
like, yeah, the school handbook.
That's just, well, right. We have a handbook?
Oh, yes. You were handed one. Some students received one on the first day, I believe. You remember somebody
A
trying to give you a
compact one.
book. Yeah, you remember somebody trying to give you like a small book, and you just went absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think I got that.
Yes, so we give students a sort of compact version of this with the most basic school rules, uniform rules, things that would sort of matter more to the students than perhaps history of the school, faculty rules, things like that.
No, I don't think I got that.
Would you like one? I can give you. And she outside she has the huge multi-page, like over 100-page one, and then she pulls out a smaller little handbook and goes, "Oh, would you like one?"
No, I'm
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
But thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. Did you want to? So you can't check this out. This is not available for students to check out. However, you can read it. Cornelius, you're one of the best students when it comes to taking care of books, returning them, sometimes even in better condition than they were when you received them. I'm willing to let you read this in the library. However, you do have to do it at a desk that is within view of me.
Oh, yeah, sure. No problem.
And should any damages of this book be found, you will be expelled from my library for the rest of your schooling here.
Well, that's a lot of responsibility, but I don't
Yes.
have any ill
Yeah.
plans in mind, so should be fine.
Good. Okay. Well, then please, yes, go ahead. And you see she sort of struggles holding it, even with two hands. And she puts it in your hands, Will Rat, instead of Cornelius.
Oh,
Because she thinks you're just... and as she hands it, it is heavy. It is a heavy book. It's a couple of pounds.
Jesus. Okay.
My apologies, Mr. Cobbler. This seemed, of the two of you, your companion seemed the best to carry this.
Oh, no, that makes sense. I think that would squish me.
You think this book's about maybe almost 10 pounds?
Jeez. Alright, let's go pick a table. I'll just pick a table within view.
Yeah, any table as long as it's within view of her desk.
Yeah, I'll pick a table within view and I will set the book down gently.
Even gently, it makes a thud.
So I don't want Cornelius to get in trouble. And I will set Cornelius down next to it and be like, alright,
Okay. I will
Here we-
begin with the index and look for any kind of tournament rules.
Time for me to think of a school index. Yeah, so you can see that there are a couple of rules. There's some for students about like what are you allowed to wear? What kinds of magic are you just not allowed to practice on campus? There seem to be rules for like teleportation. There are a couple of rules like further addendums of rules for faculty, things that faculty are and aren't allowed to do. Again, rules about teleportation. There's a special addendum for like teachers and being patrons, all of that. And then you can finally see, sort of towards the end of the index, tournament rules. Tournament and special, well, it says special event rules, and you see that there is in a subsection, one of them says tournament.
Perfect. We'll start there.
So you open it up to the tournaments and athletic events area, and there are rules. First couple of rules are there have to be healers present at the thing at any event. There have to be those who can cast Revivify. At least 5 people who can cast Revivify at all times. Further rules of faculty are not allowed to engage in any kind of subterfuge or assisting students or interfering with the tournament, which you already know has been broken, but that feels like one of the rules that might be more commonly broken, of just teachers giving information to students. And then finally, you can see you don't see anything about contraband. You do see that it says students are allowed to bring in items. It says specifically potions, elixirs, and items of the like. And you don't know if like you could maybe finagle that those candies are items of the like to potions and elixirs and restorative plants and herbs.
We might have a loophole here.
Because it doesn't say you can't have them.
It doesn't say any. Yeah, nothing in here says you can't have those, and it does say you can have healing potions, elixirs, and the like, which isn't very specific.
Yeah, it's really vague.
You also do see there are a couple of other rules that say tournaments and special athletic events can only be held once every 10 years. Students of certain age groups are not allowed to participate. Any students, I believe it is 13 or under, cannot participate. Students are not allowed to cheat, no cheating, no injuring of other students outside of the tournament to prevent them from participating. And one of the rules is no using of external forces to decimate other players.
Boring.
Oh, that's probably very good, because there are certain people who have those kind of powers.
Mm-hmm. You think that might be specific to warlocks and clerics, saying you can't call your patron to kill people. That's not allowed. Fully not allowed.
All right, I am going to copy down this part about the kinds of things you're allowed to bring in exact detail. So if anyone calls us out, we can be like, oh, we read the rule book. This is what it said.
Yep. You know, this is in like, you can reference like, well, section 18, subparticle B of the school handbook allows for blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I'm going to use my scribing wand to write it in with illusionary script, so only I can see it, but when I need to show it, I can show it.
Nice.
That way other students don't find out.
Nice. Alrighty, you can definitely do that. I believe that doesn't take a charge. Or does it?
It uses one charge, but
okay.
That's okay. It gets them back at dawn, and yeah, it's fine.
Alrighty. Was there anything else you wanted to get from the handbook itself or from the library?
I don't know anything.
I think that's, you know what? Out of curiosity, I'm going to find the part of the book about faculty rules for what to do when other students spirit other students away.
Okay. So flipping through the book, you do find that there are some rules on what faculty should do if other students are kidnapped or taken to an undisclosed location. There are a couple of rules on faculty are not to engage if students are simply going with each other to other locations. Like, technically, it's not against the rules to say, well, me and my friend, I took my friend to the airships because I just wanted to bring them. However, there are special rules on faculty are required to keep a track of where students in their charge are if they are under a specific age, as well as all of the primary students, so all of the ones who are like sort of that age range between 11 and younger, do have to be like well kept, like they have to be tracked, because generally speaking those students are too powerful or too young, or it's just too dangerous for them to be kind of anywhere.
Yeah.
Because shouldn't let a 6-year-old wander around.
So,
what?
I know I'm not involved in the scene, but I heard something while I was making popcorn. It said no outside sources. Does that not count as patrons?
Yeah, so that was specifically saying you cannot call your patron down to have your patron commit the act. You can commit the act, but your patron cannot commit an act against
as long
your
as I can commit the murder and not my... Okay, we're good.
So the rule is more like say your patron is literally a god, like a cleric might have a deity as their patron. You can't ask that deity to kill another student. That's not allowed. Or to fight that other student, or to drain their magic, or to do various X, Y, and Z. You cannot request that of a deity. It has to be you doing whatever is going on in the tournament, is really the
Okay,
rule.
I just needed to know if what
Yes,
that
so
was.
if you would like to kill another student, one, two, again, there are clerics on standby, but you can't ask your patron to do that, even if your patron is a faculty member. Not allowed. Especially if they're a faculty member, honestly. No.
That's fair.
But you can do whatever you would like. But she,
I mean, this
go ahead.
seems like some good info. Do we need anything else while we're here?
There is also an addendum where if it says, if you are worried about another student's safety, so in that faculty area where it's like if you think that a faculty member is not adequately taking care of a student, you can report that either to the headmistress or to a trusted faculty member. Generally speaking, it says Dr. Shore, or if Dr. Shore is the issue, another professor, usually Lady Von Stein.
It right up names her in that book. Excellent.
It does not have the guidance counselor's name in there.
Great. I love our poor guidance counselor. It doesn't get any love.
She's like, I'm just trying to. My whole job is nobody cares, so I just hang out in my greenhouse.
This part here is a little weird, though, because she specifically didn't want to tell the headmistress, but this isn't here if you're worried that you should.
I mean, maybe she just doesn't want to get in trouble for losing the kid.
Well, I would think the kid's more important than her ego.
Have you met the teachers that are at the school?
Fair point.
I mean, one is literally,
Yeah.
not allowed to kill kids because they want to. I mean, the best one we have is literally a lich. That, she really is the best teacher that we have.
She is really quite lovely.
Wild.
I mean, the general is kind of a fucked up human.
And grew mushrooms out of your face.
Yeah, that happened.
Are you feeling okay from that still?
Oh, I don't think I'm ever going to eat mushrooms again. But
that's fair.
I don't know. Got a lot to think about because, yeah, probably nothing I can really talk about right now in this space with people around.
That's also fair. Well, I think we're done here anyway.
You are aware that you're in a public area, and there are other students who can and a little are listening in on what you're saying.
Yep. So.
You don't know if they can fully hear you so much as they just kind of are looking over, like, what's going on over there? They have the handbook.
I'll glare at anyone. While Cornelius is reading the handbook, I'll just, menacingly glare at anyone who's watching us.
Most students turn away immediately, just like, oh. You do see one student just stares dead, stares you back in your eyes, dead in your eyes, just goes. He's just staring you back.
Was it the one that had books orbiting them?
It is.
That tracks.
Do you know them?
Oh, they're going to teach me how to do that in a couple of years.
Their name. You do know that. What is their name? That is one of the older students. Her name's Hammond.
But are they cool?
What kind of vibe do I get from Hammond in my time dealing with them?
They're pretty cool. They don't. So Hammond's pretty chill. They have a hard time speaking because kind of all the time that they talk, all of their words come out backwards. So they're pretty chill, but they don't talk much. It's as if every time they talk, it's sort of a reverse tape.
Oh, no, they're fine. I'll give them a little wave.
And they just go.
All right.
They sort of point to Will Rhett and then you and go and give you a thumbs up, like, are you good? And then they raise an eyebrow, looking at you, Cornelia, saying, are you okay? Do you? And then looks again between you and Will Rhett.
Yeah, I'll give 2 thumbs up, nod my head. It's
Do
good.
they think I'm threatening you?
I don't think so. I don't usually come in here with other people, so maybe it just seemed weird.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they turn
Cool.
away. They give you one last look.
Anyone watching me miserably fail at putting popcorn in my mouth?
I'm trying not to look.
God damn it.
I stopped looking because I was about to laugh, so I was like, I can't look at this anymore.
Yeah, I can't look in.
I'll just do like a.
They give you a little nod, and then they
And
go
then-
back to immediately. No, their eyes sort of like zone. You know when people zone out and you can just see their eyes sort of gloss over, and the books start just floating around again. They just start flipping pages every now and again.
All right.
All right. Let's meet up with the others.
Yep, I will
Alrighty.
go and return the book, and then pick up Cornelius and head back.
And the librarian, she goes, "Oh, thank you. Perfect condition as always. Thank you too. And I don't see you in the library often, but please feel free to come by whenever you would like.
I've never been here before.
I've noticed.
I've been here for 4 years, and honestly, I didn't know this existed until this year.
Confusing, but you're welcome anytime you would like to come to the library. We accept all students of any kind if you're eager to learn. We even have books on fighting and combat and battle strategy.
That's kind of cool.
I've been requesting books for more martial students to enjoy.
Good to know. Maybe I will be back then.
You think they might just have the art of war and one of the...
Yeah, it's literally like the art of war, and then some like fan fiction that someone wrote about fighting,
Yep.
like A Knight's Tale.
I mean, they put some effort in.
You think she's trying...
to start?
They point towards the section, and all you see is a bunch of manga.
She does point to a section that is maybe 3 books. But
It's just a bunch of biographies about Helen Hunt, and you're like,
They're also covered with dust.
yes. It
yeah.
looks like no one touches them.
my brother comes here a lot, so maybe I'll come with him sometime.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Okay.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna go now.
Owen, I can't look
Yes,
at the chat.
exactly. Exactly.
Please come to the library. He won't come in here. He can't hurt you here.
Oof. It's guys, I'm fine. I'm perfectly safe.
You're good.
I
Alright.
have to go now.
So as you two are leaving the library, we cut back to the other duo. Salem, so your companion has slowly stopped crying a little bit, and they sort of look at you and
and
go,
I've also stopped crying.
they're like, "Thank you for the. I needed that. I really needed. I just needed I needed someone to talk to."
I did as well. It was very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. I have to.
Did you want another candy?
No, I don't. I'm trying to watch my figure.
Perfect. All right.
I gotta go to class. I don't want to go to Professor Wizet's class with food in my stomach.
Oh, that's a good point. Actually, you shouldn't.
Sometimes weird stuff like it feels really weird when you get shrunk down. It like hurts, and sometimes you throw up, or it just feels weird, and all your organs are all mishmashed. Or like he turns a bird inside out.
Not like 20 minutes ago.
I know. Or like he turns a bird inside out so you can see all of its muscles twitching. So he's like, "This is what muscles look like," and you throw up because it's fucking disgusting.
Every teacher here is a criminal.
I can't. My parents spent so much money on tuition. I can't leave this school, but I really want to.
Well, good luck.
Yeah.
And
All right. Bye. I gotta go to
in the words
class.
Of an elder god that I know. Good luck. Don't die.
I can't make promises on that. Well, I won't die on campus. At least they'll revive me if nothing else. Did you know? Nobody's died that I know of. I'm sure somebody's died here, honestly. And you see they just sort of get up and go, oh, my knees.
Did they just say that jewelry teacher killed 7 people?
Yes. Oh, no, not on campus. Like,
Oh, okay.
years ago. That's how they got the job. It's fine. No, not on campus. No one was murdered on... That would have been information that students might have found out.
Wow, I misunderstood that too.
No, they killed 7 people at one point in their life. Before they were a teacher.
Gotcha.
But they still did it. They still definitely 100% killed 7 people. They just didn't do it on campus. They did it before they became a professor.
That's nothing compared to the rest of this place. You're good.
I know, honestly, it's like, but you would, of the teachers, they're like, I just assumes not all of them. But yeah, so they sort of get up and they go, I didn't even ask your name. I'm Simone.
Salem.
S's. Okay, I'm gonna go to class. I don't want to go to class, but if I skip it, it'll be worse. I don't want him talking to me in my brain. And you see they just sort of like wander off.
I'm gonna try not to die as well.
Don't die. Don't. If you do, at least die on campus. Someone will bring you back to life.
Fair. And I'm gonna go and try to find everyone else.
Alrighty. And while that was happening in the hallway, boom, inside the classroom. Eugene, so you had mentioned that you had ate something, a name, and Lady von Stein had just dropped her teacup entirely. You can see that it is shattered on the floor, and sort of tea is spilling out on the ground. She goes, I'm certain I misheard. You said you ate names?
It's what she called me. I don't like whatever it was. I don't like what that is. I don't want to be that.
I'm hoping that's not what I think it is, but if it is, there's really not. You don't get to choose what you're born as. But you can choose how to deal with the effects of it. I'm going to tell you something. It's not a secret, but it's also not common knowledge. And you see she sort of waves a hand, and her cup reforms, and the tea on the floor cleans up, and she picks it up and goes, "Now this is one of my favorite teacups. I love it. It's what I drink all of my tea out of. I enjoy the sort of flavor it comes with it. And this is when I'm hungry for things that liches do need to eat. From time to time, I turn it into a person and take its soul."
That was weird.
It is an unfortunate part of being what I am. I have to eat. And while I do love tea and I do love certain mortal foods, I'm not a big fan of candies or meats or things like that. I do have to eat. And there are ways around it that are perhaps less terrifying or, if necessary. Now, I don't know. Your camera, Liz. I don't know what's going on. It's not yours. It's on my end. Now, I don't know if you are privy to these kinds of spells, but creatures like us that feed on parts of living creatures may feel a sort of shame in having to eat like that. And that's understandable. When I was young, did not want to have to eat souls to sustain myself. But that is a necessary part of being a lich. So, instead of taking the souls from humans or people who have lived lives, I turn my cup. I prefer this teacup. The flavor of the tea makes it taste better, in my opinion. And I turn it into a person, and then I harvest their soul, and then I turn it back into a cup. They've never lived a life, they've never felt a thing, they've never known anything. Now, I'm sure you don't have that sort of ability yet. You're very young. However, I will put in a recommendation to the school's cafeteria that food that you could eat be made for you. If you would prefer it to be something more discreet so that other students don't know what you're eating, I can also make that request. However, it is safer for you to satisfy your hungers now than to wait until you're starving and eat something you didn't mean to.
I think that happened in the past.
It happens to many people when they're very young. I made some mistakes in my youth and ate some things I shouldn't have. There are a couple of, if you would like to talk to some vampire students who can also regale you with their issues of not wanting to drink blood, but waiting a little too late and starting to get a little too ravenous. It is something you work with. And instead of worrying or feeling a sort of shame over having to eat and sustain yourself, we can look into alternative ways for you to feel full. Now, I won't be able to get it for you immediately today. The cafeteria does take some time in procuring the ingredients they need. However, I can, if you need to eat something, either transfigure one of your teacup, for example, into something you could eat, or a table or a chair, or whatever you prefer.
I think I accidentally ate one of the zombie dogs.
It happens. It had already died, already lived out its life. There's no concern there if it was already dead. So.
I still feel bad.
Do you feel bad when you eat cows, chickens, creatures that definitely lived lives and felt things?
I probably should.
It is the cycle of life. There are people who will eat you, people who eat things in this world. There are some people who derive magic from eating other people and consuming their magical cores. There are those who derive magic from eating souls. There are those who derive sustenance from drinking blood. It is
popcorn.
there are those who derive sustenance from eating mortal creatures. It is all part of the cycle in which we must sustain ourselves. And there is no shame in having to eat. The shame or the fear can come from letting yourself go too far. And as long as you keep control of it, you won't go too far. Now, I am going to, after this meeting, put in a notification to the school cafeteria for foods to be adjusted for your diet. They will be part of the buffet spread. They're usually closer to the end of the line away after students have already gone through all of their food. And they may not be, unfortunately, as elaborate as the others. It's hard to enchant food that is sort of
I don't really
an
need,
essence.
Walking little, stick figure names, I guess. I don't need that.
No, okay, good. That unfortunately may not be provided for you, but food will be provided for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Now,
am I gonna know what it's gonna look like, or?
Once so I don't know what it will be now, but once I get notification from the cafeteria, I will let you know. It will probably be within the next few days.
Okay.
Probably not. We don't get our next shipment of ingredients for the next 2 days, so until then, if you think you might get hungry, you can please come to me and I will get you something to eat. Or if you would like to wait those 2 days, there will be food for you in the cafeteria and I will notify you immediately.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Hey, no, there's no need for apologies. There's no need to feel sorry. There's no need to feel shame. You are what you are. You didn't ask to be born a certain way. You didn't ask for what happens to you. What you can do now is control it, deal with it, treat it like a dietary restriction. Many students can't eat certain foods or need to eat certain foods. Some of of our tabaxi students only eat raw meat. Some of them prefer to eat cooked meat. It is a dietary restriction that you have.
And apologize to your wife again for me. I'm really sorry.
I will not apologize to her. We're going to have a very stern talking to about the things you say to children.
I mean, she didn't really say anything bad, I don't think. I honestly kind of blacked out majority of what we talked about. I just heard, oh, that's who you are, and I was like, oh, okay, that's great.
Okay, but I also attacking children. You're all in uniform. She should know. She knows where I work. This isn't a surprise to her. We're going to have this is not a concern that you should have. I'm going to have a conversation and make sure that this kind of event never happens again. And I would like you to disregard the things my wife might have said to you and apologize on her behalf for whatever it was she did say that could have hurt you or was immoral or wrong to say to a child or to anyone. We are both...
Sorry.
No, you should not apologize. My wife and I are both liches. There should be no shame on what people are.
Get a thorough spanking.
No, she enjoys those. But no.
Oh, we're learning things today.
She does not say that. Your professor does not say those words to you. She doesn't say that out loud.
Get it,
But now
Von
we know that the
Stein.
Von
Get
Stein
it.
popped.
Now, either way, I don't even know where we were. I will have to speak with her on that. You are, even if she felt some
Yes,
kind of
blame
way.
the xylophone on my bones.
We were at Von Stein Tops. That's where we were in the story.
Yep. Okay, cool. We're both liches. There should be no shame in the kind of creature that someone is or what they eat. We are both undead creatures that are, objectively speaking, people deem abominations to life and the Arcane. So, we are not ones to speak on if someone should or shouldn't be a kind of creature. But thank you for coming to me with this concern. I will make sure that you are well taken care of by the cafeteria and that anything you need can be provided for you. If you have other concerns, please
By
do
the
not
court of
hesitate.
law.
By the court of law. We are also required by law to provide you with sustenance necessary to your kind. Also, if there are any other issues, please feel free to come to myself. If you're most comfortable, if you're not comfortable with the guidance counselor, you can always come talk to me. I am always here for my students.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you. I believe your friend is outside crying. Should I assist with that?
I'll go help. I think it'll be okay.
Okay. And you see she sort of like pats you on the shoulder and says, "All right, now you run along. I believe your classes are almost over, or if you don't want to go to those early lunch, your period is not at lunch yet, but you could go ahead of the others."
Kind of. Yeah. I might.
Alrighty.
Boob popcorn.
Best kind of popcorn.
Thank you. And I'm just gonna shuffle out and find
Yep.
Salem.
You step out into the hall and you see Salem. Are you just? What were you doing once the other student left?
I'm just looking around aimlessly.
I'm just gonna come out, look you dead in the eyes. I think I contributed to a lich divorce.
Well, it was bound to happen.
Oh.
Should have ended the stream.
Yeah. But she helped. We talked about stuff.
Did you get it all out?
We talked about it.
Okay. Well, what should we do now? Should we go look for the other two?
I think we said we were gonna meet in the lunchroom.
Oh, perfect. All right. Well, let's get lunch.
Speaking of the other two, where are you two headed? Were you headed to lunch?
We didn't agree to meet there, or did we?
I thought we did.
Okay, then we'll just head right there.
Oh yeah, if we didn't, yeah, head that way.
Yeah, so you four all meet up, I will say, at the lunch hall. You step in. It is not your period's turn for lunch, so you don't see any of the familiar faces or students. They have the school sectioned out into like different lunch periods, so different students are in class while the others are at lunch. It is not incredibly familiar to you on who these students are. Some of them you've seen in passing, but it's not your usual lunch crew.
Okay, well, do you usually get food?
Yeah, get food and wait for the others.
Yeah, I will say you meet up there at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Easy then.
Wow.
I cried in a hallway, met a new friend, and generally, I think I feel good.
I think I contributed to a lich divorce, and I have a new diet.
I went to the library for the first time. It's wild in there. You guys know we have a library?
I did not. That's good to know.
Yeah, there's like books and shit in there.
What's a book?
I don't know. I don't read them.
Oh dear.
Cornelius, this is all. You're taking psychic damage from hearing this.
I ask while I'm looking through my wizardry book.
Man, it was wild.
Well, Perhaps we should get something to eat.
Yeah. Okay. Grab up food. Nom nom nom.
You want to do something about your professor?
Uh, are we talking about this at the table, or are we like?
I'm kind of walking talking here. We can be talking about it at a table as well if you'd rather do this at a table. But I mean, like, did try to murder us.
I mean, it might be safer at a table or somewhere where there's less prying eyes and ears.
I mean, I'm fairly sure that there are ears everywhere.
You do see there are a couple of ears on the table.
Yeah.
Right? Closer towards the like specialty food, there's just a plate full of ears.
I mean, technically speaking, there's a place where there aren't any ears.
Well, there's, for the most part, anywhere we go, there will always be ears.
There was your thing.
Technically, yes, but not ear prying ears. That
This
don't belong to
conversation is
us.
just getting eerie, so let's go grab food and then head to a table.
I hear you about that.
Do you think eating lunch in your pocket dimension is against the rules of taking food out of the cafeteria?
You know, I think it would be fun if we just set up underneath a table and ate underneath it in a pocket dimension. That might work.
I think that works.
How do you feel about that, Huge?
Let's also what?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
Perfect.
but
let's eat in a pocket dimension.
Huge?
Well, I could also call you Genie. I mean, one of the two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you all are you setting this up at one of the tables or underneath? You said.
Yeah.
How are you doing it underneath?
Well, all I have to do is activate my spell, and we can just go inside of it.
Okay. You don't have to like climb up, or is it just?
Well, I mean, if your rules is written in it, I guess.
Oh, I mean, I wasn't sure. I'm like, is that you just go in any direction? Is it like a?
I mean, if you lay the rope on its side, you could just climb along it.
I'm gonna say
like you don't have to climb up the whole thing. I think if I set it up underneath a thing, I just can pull the 60 feet of rope back up with us.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna say, as long as you have space to climb, like under the table, you're good.
Perfect.
So you
Cornelius can climb anywhere.
Yeah, you can't do this under the shorty squad table, just because two of you aren't big enough to get under there. I mean, two of you are too big to get under there.
Is there like a giant table?
There is.
For larger students?
Yeah, so there is a shorty squad table. None of you really sit there, but there is a giant table where like a couple of Loxodon students, some Goliaths, one of them who you think might genuinely just be a giant. So it's that.
Let's go to that table. That'll give us all a fair amount of room to climb.
There's only one student there right now. A Loxodon young woman who's just sort of eating food. She's just sort of sitting there. She has a plate full of like a very intricate salad.
Yeah, let's head over there and set this up and go, yeah?
As you walk over, she sort of looks at you in confusion because rarely do people go over to the giant table.
Hey, sorry, I think my friend left something under here.
Oh, it's fine. It's whatever. And she's like, I don't care. Cheers.
You know what? I can't unpack all of this and try to fix everyone. I'm just gonna go under the table and cast a spell. I'll go under the table and cast the rope trick.
Alrighty, yeah. You're all able to pretty easily climb in there.
I'll carry Cornelius up.
Alrighty, so yeah, you all get in pretty easily. And you're hanging out in Salem's pocket dimension.
So
any weird premonitions.
Yeah. So immediately when you get in that, so once you all get in there, I need a con save from everyone. No, I'm kidding. No, you don't see anything.
Any specters, ghosts, anything trying to get you huge?
Oh yeah, my.
Oh yes. No. See, if you recall, you only felt it because you were unwillingly being taken somewhere.
I just wanted to make sure.
Because the last time when you went in there on purpose, you didn't feel anything, but it was the unwilling pull into another dimension that immediately made that an issue.
I'm okay. Okay.
All right. So here's the thing. I want to say something to him
With your
because,
fist?
well, I mean, he'd kick my ass.
We
And
don't know that.
fair. I just feel like we should wait till after the tournament
I
because
personally feel as though he's going to try to steal our wish and destroy the world.
In some capacity, yeah.
I mean that's true, but if we go after him before the tournament, there's more of a chance of him trying to interfere in some way. Because it's not
In
just
what
me.
manner?
I mean, it's not just me who's his student.
I mean,
He
if we
could,
defeat him before anyone else can win, or we win, then he can't sneak in and be like, haha, great dragon, I wish I was immortal.
I will say, since the two of you, Cornelius and Wilred, did read the handbook about the tournament, you do know that the wish can only be granted by the people who complete it.
Oh, okay. That's
the
good to know.
tournament.
Yes, so it's not like anyone can just hop in and take it. You have to have participated and completed the tournament to get the wish.
Okay.
I mean, according to the handbook, Cornelius can tell you more than I can.
Yes, it says that only we, or not, I'm assuming things, only the people that win are allowed to actually make the wish. Someone can't just take it from you. I don't know if that includes mind control and that kind of stuff, though, so, you know.
Well, I will say that his magic does concern me. He could slink in the shadows and summon a barrier between two different worlds. Like that, there's a bit of a concern there that mind control is a gray area and fairly easy once you can open a dimension to another place. I say, gesturing around.
You get some mind control tricks? You wanna
I
try?
mean, I can encode thoughts. Give me another year and maybe I can encode thoughts.
It's true.
Right.
So it's the question, do we make an enemy of him before or after? Is that basically what we're at here?
That does seem to be where we're at. That's true. The Holy Grail won't just. We have to. Yeah, we have to win the tournament. Yeah.
I mean, my gut says after, so he can't do anything before.
Well, if we
or
already
during.
have the wish.
You do remember that he asked you to do something with the wish,
Right.
Wilred. So you're not sure if he has access to it or if he's going to like make sure one of the students does what he asks.
I mean, he flat out told us, well, the group of us, that, I mean, we have specific thing we're supposed to do.
Has he given
win.
anyone any objects or made them change their person or act in a certain way or receive something or
Raise his hand slowly.
they give
Yes.
you your hand?
The ring on my hand he gave me.
Well, what are the chances that that ring, when, you win the tournament, doesn't just take over your mind and give him the ability to steal your wish?
I looked at that ring before.
Doesn't mean you're strong enough to detect what's going on with it.
You did get, and I believe you didn't identify on it.
I used the monocle to look at it. I never said anything. I wrote it down.
That's right, you did. So your monocle technically is identify.
I noticed two different types of magic on it: an enchantment and necromancy, and it's draining your life or something.
Well, I am going to spend the next 11 minutes just staring longingly into your eyes while I hold that ring in your hand. You don't have to take it off, but I need to touch it for 11 minutes.
Is the longingly staring into my eyes necessary?
Unfortunately, I need to make you as uncomfortable as possible.
I had a feeling it was something around those lines.
I don't think that's written in the spell, but I believe that it's just how Salem's magic works.
I mean, sure. Yeah, here.
And I will stare at you uncomfortably while I am preparing the spell, and yep.
So you guys have a weird hand-holding moment for about 11 minutes. What are the other two? What are you two doing? The other two? Well, they hold hands for 11 minutes.
Doing anything. I'm just kind of curling up, letting Thursday kind of run along my shoulders.
She is having a great time. She seems very confused by the concept that there are walls here that she can't see. So she every now and then she would just walk up to a wall and just go, yeah, immediately, dunk, and then just like meow at it and like, and cats are just like, what is happening? I hate it here, and just like she keeps touching the wall but like not understanding that it's not there.
It's like when they look at themselves in a mirror for the first time.
And they're like, who are you, stranger?
Just watching her because that's hilarious.
And then Cornelius, are you hanging out watching these two hold hands for about 11 minutes?
I will, talking very softly, just explain what I found out about whether or not we can use the items softly so I don't disturb Salem's concentration while casting a spell. But yeah, I'll just make sure they're on the same page about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Can I do a con check to not blink for 11 minutes?
Sure.
I'll do the same thing.
Yeah, both of you go ahead.
22.
What check am I making?
Con. I mean, it's
regular
a pretty
con or con save.
Regular con. It's not an easy thing to do, I will say.
Well, if it's regular con, then it's a 19.
21.
Yeah, well, you're not saving. You're both actively trying. This isn't like a save against an effect. You're both actively trying to do this. So I will say it's a check, not a save.
Okay,
21.
Yeah, so I mean, both of you managed to hold your eyes open for a little while. Both of you have been in General Weimer's class where he's like, don't blink. And it's kind of, so you both probably are the best at not blinking, but you're also both mortal people who need to blink because that's how eyes work. So after a while, just involuntarily, your eyes go, I need water. Especially you, Salem. You're trying to concentrate on a spell and not blink. You're immediately, your brain is like,
having
pick
a staring contest and they won.
Mm-hmm. Your brain says pick one. Otherwise, it's the no blink or it's the spell. But yeah, so after 11 minutes, I will say you do identify this item, Salem. Mm-hmm. It is the Ring of the Arcane Berserker. Its effects are, it is generally used by people who can cast spells but do more on attacks. It latches on and does an additional 8d8 force to one's attacks. However, once your ability ends, so your rage, it is specifically for raging barbarians. Once your rage ends, you take the damage that you dealt out with the ring. So you think it might just be a way to suppress the magic inside of you and use that for fighting, as opposed to casting spells. It definitely hurts someone.
It teaches me to conceal, don't feel.
Exactly. It's very...
Don't let them know.
You have to wear your gloves. You have to wear them every day. You can't touch people.
But now they know.
Exactly. But you think it's definitely something that's probably painful and shouldn't have been given to a student. But maybe you don't know if it's not mind control.
It's something that's definitely painful and shouldn't have been given to a student.
You should probably let it go.
But yeah, it doesn't do any. It just psychic damage every time your rage ends. If you used it.
Wow, it really just wants you to be angry forever.
You think it probably works best with people with anger issues or like self-esteem issues?
Why?
They really had faith.
I'm here trying to play a goddamn game with my friends. And this motherfucker.
Why do you think I gave you this item?
Just rolls up my phone number.
General Weimer clocked a kid with anger issues and self-esteem problems and went, for you.
Do it.
Yes, for me.
Mm-hmm. And also, Wilred, the fact that you saw General Weimer take it off of his own finger means you think he was probably using it, which doesn't make sense to you because he doesn't have magic. So why would he be using a ring?
You know he does have magic.
Well, now you do. So. But at the time, it's like, why would he be using a ring that takes your spell slots?
took this ring off their finger and gave it to me. Which at the time I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but
I will say I'm a tad concerned about a teacher providing a ring to a student, but
At least it wasn't the context of, holding a rock for 24 hours.
I mean, look, we've had a week.
we have.
It's been a week.
It's been some time. Also,
Um,
I will say you, Salem, at least know the context of a lot of rings use magic to sort of bind two people together or to give someone abilities that they don't have to,
I think it's
hold.
very likely that there's just the slightest underlying chance that that ring is going to give him the ability to steal the witch.
I mean, I can take it off.
Can you?
I take it off the ring.
Yeah, you don't feel anything resistance in taking it off. You do feel like if you put it back on, you're probably going to have to attune to it again. Oh no, you're already attuned. You can take rings on and off. That's not. I'm not going to make you.
Keep it on for now because we don't want him to get suspicious, but
That's why I
right
just think
before anything ends, you should probably take it off.
I can do that. That's why I think we should wait to the end, so that way he can't try anything.
Yeah, that's starting to seem better and better as our option.
I mean, it's obvious he has things going on if he's able to, send us to a place that we shouldn't have been, I'm assuming. Whatever that place was.
I don't know why that was able to happen. I talked to Lady Von Stein. By the way, that was her wife.
Ooh. Sorry about your dogs.
That's probably why I contributed to a lich divorce.
It's just some lesbians and their 3 dogs.
Well, 2 dogs.
2 dogs.
No
well,
no
0
dogs.
dogs.
Lesbians and their big dog privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Well, if that was Von Stein's wife, he somehow connected a portal to.
Oh, is he having an affair? Ooh, if we start a rumor.
I don't want to start a rumor at all, please.
We could get Lady Von Stein just to deal with him ourselves.
No.
So, I mean.
That seems dangerous.
That's why I think we should deal with him after the fact.
Yeah.
I mean, lich, creepy shadow guy. I'm pretty sure she can take him.
I don't want to put her in danger though. She's like the only nice person.
Yeah.
I will say, Eugene, you did hear when you were talking with her. She did say she would talk to him about that.
Yeah, and also she'll be talking to him
because she seemed pretty upset that her wife was where his portal was.
Yeah.
That means he's going to know we talked to a professor about it.
I mean,
good news.
What the fuck?
We'll just probably think it was us scrubs and not you.
I hope so, because, I mean, there are ways to get students out of competitions. I could mysteriously end up getting hurt during a class.
Well, and
you get taken
if you
out.
have to re-roll another character and join us as them, we'll deal with it at the time.
Well, wait, because they said they said that during the course of training for the tournament that you don't have to, don't you? Not have to go to class.
I have to go to class.
You don't have to go to class in the afternoon. You have to go to your 2 morning before lunch, and then the afternoon is for training. You just didn't go to class today because you were emotionally distressed.
I have other extra classes in the morning.
That too. You do have classes before everybody else does. Classes.
So, I mean...
Man makes you run 20 laps.
He can make things happen when no one else is around. I mean, I literally beat the shit out of David. So, the general couldn't. Because what I would do to him would be not as bad as him. So, he's... in hindsight, he's not a good person.
That seems to be the general consensus around the school.
It's becoming more and more apparent that the only nice person around here is the Lich, which is mildly
And I mean, the
concerning.
counselor seems pretty cool.
A little bit.
I mean, there's a difference between cool and just entirely neglectful.
Yeah. But so are we decided to wait till after or what?
I think so.
Okay, I'll just carry on as nothing's changed.
All right, if that's what our decision is.
Alrighty. So you all are deciding that you're going to wait until after the tournament to confront
Yeah, so I'll just
what's
continue
his General Armor.
going along things as normal.
Alrighty. So yeah, you'll be continuing. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit past your lunch and and maybe past the week. So you all finish lunch pretty quickly. And over the course of the week, you do continue your training. You don't hear anything from General Weimer. But he doesn't say anything specific to you. He does give you nods every now and then when you go to class, and especially when he sees you and David, he sort of gives you like a weirdly like satisfied nod, like a "you did a good job." David, by the way, has not been coming to class. He's just stopped showing up to the morning ones, the early ones that you had.
Good.
David he does not come to those anymore. He only comes
Good.
to his mandatory. He has to be here during the like first two periods. But he has not shown up to any of the morning classes. You do see him at lunch, but you don't see him in your early morning training.
All these glitches.
I know.
I'll give him the usual like.
He seems to have like gained some actual friends. Those two students who are part of his tournament group who are there actively like trying to. They're both halflings and they've just been plying him with food every lunch. Just being like,
Good.
eat this, eat. Have snacks. They keep slipping. Like you see them during the training area. They keep a sort of barrier around him whenever General Weimer is nearby.
Good.
And they both use magic, so he never talks to them. You do other students. Eugene, you after a couple of days, you see at the end of the lunch hall, there is a special little plate just for you of it is still like it looks like regular food, but you can see it has a sort of glow to it. And when you eat it, you feel full. You feel like that same sort of satisfied, full feeling without the sort of guilt of touching a person and ripping their body, their whole last soul out of their body. Cornelius, you are able to check out the books you set on hold, as well as you're given like a sort of extended on the amount of books you're allowed to take out of the library.
Oh, excellent.
At one point during the week, you are stopped by Professor Moriarty. Sort of when he gets you alone away from your friends, he just stops you and goes, "Hey, so apparently you disappeared. Where did you end up? Anywhere dangerous? Any sort of scary places?"
Well, it was definitely scary. I don't know if it was dangerous. It felt dangerous. How do I even describe it?
Was it full of hellfire? Screaming
Yes.
everywhere?
Yes, exactly like that.
Okay, so it takes some time for agreements like this, and some of my magic does come from the Nine Hells. You might be experiencing a little bit of that. Hopefully, as you grow in your magic, you'll be able to summon devils and demons and cast yourself into the hells. Things of that nature. Command hellfire.
More on deliberately than that very random, sudden.
Yes. I was informed you were accessing your own personal magic. Things happen. Changes like that can be a little sudden. Try to be a little bit more careful with your magic and expressing that in front of other people. Hellfire is not the most smiled upon kind of magic.
Got it. I will stick to the regular kind of fire, which is not smiled at either, but you know.
If perhaps during the tournament you would like to use Hellfire, I don't see I see most professors might turn a blind eye.
Noted.
And try not to get teleported. And you see he does this sort of awkward thing where he like pats your shoulder And it goes, okay, I'm going
He
to go
has
now.
to lean over so far. For
He
that.
does. It's so awkward. He does the thing where it's like, you're too small. And so he puts his arm down. He's just like, okay. And he he's like, okay, get back to classes. It's lunchtime. He says, get back to class.
I'll be sure to do that.
And then Salem, you are able to a little bit. You are stopped at one point by, I forgot her name. I think it was Jennifer, the Earth Genasi who you bet with, and talked to about some contraband. And she'd said, right, you guys put some money on your team, right? I'm telling you this because you were nice to my friend Simone.
Oh.
But there's rumor that one of the other teams is having a little bit of an internal issue and might not be making it to the tournament. Or if they do, you could say some things that would make them not as close.
Which team?
The Ember Wolves one. It's that team with the there's some sort of infighting, it seems, between their barbarian girl, that Dagvard. She's like a half orc, and that like tiefling Malzar. Apparently, so they were dating and they broke up. Oh, but they're still on the same team for the tournament. So there might be some issues there that you could take advantage of. And
That's some delicious tea.
Exactly. You were chill to Simone. She like needed a person to cry to, and you were like super chill about it. You didn't like make them leave or tell them to stop crying, and you like talked to them. They said you're cool. So I'm telling you this.
Is there anything in particular I could say? Like, do you know what broke up their relationship?
They broke up because, and this is the best part, you know their other teammate, Elizabeth?
Okay.
She was making out with Malzar. And they're all on a team together. And like the only one who's trying to keep the peace is Theodosia. And it's so fucking funny. So, if you want to use that however you want, you didn't hear it from me. I didn't. We've never talked about this, but I just figured, you know, if you know.
Well, that is some very good information. Thank you.
So, I was never here. You never saw me.
I never saw you.
Have a great time. And you see she sort of steps back and then just sinks into the floor again.
I repeat all this information to my party.
It's hot goss.
Why? Cheating is so stupid. Why would you do it? Especially with someone it makes no sense.
Yeah. Cheating is so stupid. Let's cheat by making them fight.
Well, like cheating in relationships, like cheating in competitions, like fuck it, whatever.
It's just kind of crossing a line.
Yeah.
Like relationship cheating, bad.
I mean, this is a good sign. We know how to make them some infighting, and that would help us greatly.
It is definitely some very useful hot gossip. It's also gossip that has not spread over the school, which is kind of surprising because you're all teenagers and no one shuts up. Gossip spreads like wildfire, but this has not gotten out yet.
I'm not very good at this.
It seems like no one has gotten a...
Yeah.
A bit quiet.
I'm not very good at this kind of stuff. What do we...
We just kind of pretend that we don't know that it exists.
I will say information. So, Wilret, you do have classes with Dagvard, the barbarian.
Yeah.
She's been, maybe you didn't know why, but she seemed to be like beating the absolute hell out of some of the training dummies. Like, fully just like emotionally just breaking shit.
Well, now you know.
You think you might know why?
Seems like they're primed to self-destruct themselves and don't really need us to prod them anymore.
Or we prod them entirely.
Like how?
That does seem to be your thing.
We just say something along the lines of, "Oh, that's funny that you're all still working together. I thought I saw Name and Name making out behind the bleachers."
No, or just
Yes, name
like,
and name.
Or just like, in the middle of the fight, just be like, oh, we're the opponents. Stop looking at each other like that.
So
Good
do
try,
you?
Jeannie.
Yeah, I mean that's what you. So do we want them to compete, or we want to try and get them out before they compete?
I mean, I think it would be better to do during a match. They could get rid of competition for us, to be honest.
That's true.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should keep them around, and then if they end up being our opponents at some point.
As long
Destroy
as we're
them.
not the first ones to go up against them,
All
it
right.
should be okay.
Cool.
Perfect. You're all
Alrighty.
starting to be a little more cool.
You're all starting to get
Thank
into
you.
the blackmail.
I never knew anyone would ever say that about me, so thanks.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't
always
think
cool
it'll
to
happen to me
start with.
either.
I always thought I was cool, so
I know I'm not cool,
Didn't
but
you
thank you
burn
for
down a
trying.
forest?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I am pretty cool. But that was also in a dream.
We didn't know it wouldn't burn down an actual forest.
I mean, how do we know it didn't actually burn down a real forest?
It probably did burn down a real forest.
To
Oh
be fair,
gosh, I hope not.
you are unclear. A lot of those effects seemed pretty real. You don't know if you might have been dreaming or just teleported to your own home forest.
To be
Unclear.
fully honest, I am not thinking about it.
Oh, I mean,
I should
That's-
send a letter home.
that's how I handle a lot of my problems too. I just don't think about it anymore.
Yeah, that helps.
I'm
I
gonna
put
send
it
out
in
You
a
a.
know, if I
box.
can say a healthy way to deal with your problems is just not think about them.
Yeah, I put them in a box deep in my head and
Yeah,
just lock it away and never
seal
deal
the
with it again.
box, and don't let it open until the box overflows and you take out your aggression on everyone you love.
Everyone
then you
needs
just
to
get a-
go to therapy. There's a
Then you just get a
counselor.
bigger
Your
box.
your brain is made of little boxes.
Yeah.
Find those kinds of boxes and crush them.
Yep. You monster truck over those boxes. You don't deal with them.
Mandatory therapy for every student.
Liz, I hope you got that reference.
Yep. Yep.
Alrighty. But as you all
Woo.
talk about your various mental health issues, and get over
we're
some.
talking about our characters? Got it.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh,
I am going to immediately start writing a letter home.
fair.
So I'll send that sometime during this week.
Yeah, you're able
Just
to write a
saying,
letter.
Hey, I hope the forests have been doing good this year.
So you write that. You send it out. I will say mail is pretty quick here. So you do get. I will say you'll get a response right before the tournament.
Okay.
And your response, you just see it says, "Yeah, forests have been pretty good. It's been a bit hard, sort of harvesting the trees. Some of them are like a little brittle, like they burned or something. But none of them have burn marks, and the forest seems fine. It's just a smaller load than we usually get this year, but no big concerns. Hope you're having a great time at school.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye."
Yep, and now we stop thinking about it, just like my friends told me.
Exactly.
Yep.
Your friends are like, you know what? You take that, you put it in the box, and you close the box.
And you bury the box in a deep, dark well where no one will ever see it.
Exactly. But alrighty, we're gonna fast forward a little bit too. It is tournament time.
Yeah.
Yay!
Woo! So you see,
It's a motherfucking tournament arc.
Motherfucking tournament arc.
there are a lot of students. So you are all hanging out in the Coliseum in the training grounds. There are a lot of students filling up the bleachers and sort of cheering, and like all of the teams have their own little podium that they're standing at. A couple of the teachers have sort of set up a like wide, like a long table slash. What's the thing you stand on? Podium. I'm gonna say podium again. For them to all for them to all stand on, and they're all like each professor is standing there. You can see a couple of other like not professors, but like the librarian is there. The school nurse, things like that. You can also see along the sidelines are a couple of other teachers. Dr. Shore is nearby. Yeah, he gives you a little wave from. He does like that little half wave where you don't fully raise your hand, but he just goes from his spot at the teachers alongside the other teachers. He just goes. But yeah, you don't see the headmistress. Still not there. But you do hear inside of all of your heads. You hear, "Welcome, welcome, students, to the Blaze Guard tournament." Now, I'm sure many of you are excited to get started. Hopefully, we'll see who wins this year and who gets access to their true wish. I see we have a good number of teams today. All of you picked out with your names, and it seems like you're all ready to start and have a great time. You just hear cheering and like, whoa, in the background. Some people have painted up their face, others are like holding little flags with like team names on them.
Do we see anyone with our team name?
You do. You see, Cornelius, you do see your roommate has 2 flags. One of them, and it has your name. It says Team Thursday, and then there's another flag. I don't remember the name of the all healer team.
Right.
Perfect.
And it just, no, life support is their name.
Clerics on standby.
Life
Yes.
support.
Yeah.
Clerics on standby.
Clerics on standby or life support. One of those two. You see that it's got that, and they're just like, woo! They're so fucking tiny. They're sitting
I
at the
was
front row.
about to say combine the two, but then my mind gave me clerics on life support.
Yes, clerics on life support.
So
They will be here in a moment.
They will. Yeah.
Clerics
They will.
on life support are famous for their #1 song.
Oops, all clerics.
Oops, all clerics. But yeah, you can see that there are 2 people actually with your sign. There is another one, Simone. You can see is holding up a Team Thursday sign.
Excuse me, my brother better be holding up a Team Thursday sign.
You're right. I forgot about him. He is holding up. It is. Some of the students have like really well painted and well printed one. His is like most hodgepodge. Like he definitely just hand painted it himself. Him and Lucian are holding up a sign.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Is there some like
So Lucian
fancy
is a
embellishments that are obviously Lucian?
Yeah, so the edges
Input.
of the sign are all made of lace. So like each corner is a little like lace doily that they're holding instead of like the hard rough paper.
Mhm.
Perfect.
That makes sense.
And it seems he's like enjoying not having to hold like every time you see he touches the paper he moves. He's like, oh no, I want to touch the lace doily.
Yay.
It's a homosexual.
Something homosexual has happened to me.
Exactly. So them.
Like, what the
Your
homosexuals
roommate.
have done
There
to
is
me.
another. I'm trying to think. I'm like, who else would have your sign? There's another one. It's a little hard to see because it's just a hand sort of holding it and stuffed animals. As it says Team Thursday.
Beautiful.
Please tell me that there's a cat plushie like pinned to the sign.
Yeah. So the usually the plushies on them shift around. Right now on top is the cat plush.
Beautiful.
I don't know any other
Alright.
teams that would have, but yeah, there are a good number of people holding up signs for you. It seems like an equal amount. You think you might be one of the few with the most signs, just because it's kind of spread across on like everyone for their best friend.
All
Yeah.
right.
You can see that there are teams. Everyone's sort of set up on their own. People are all standing in their own area, and you hear the headmistress sort of in your head going, "Right now for this first." For the first part of the tournament, this first task is going to be a test of wits. Now, you will all be going to a secure location where you will be tasked with solving a bit of a puzzle that we've set up for you. Now, I won't give anything away. I want you all to enjoy figuring out what's going on here, but I hope that you have all prepared to be able to find magical things and perhaps keep an eye out for something missing.
I'm gonna pop the candy so I can heal my spell slot while this is happening.
So you've all had it's been weeks. It's been a week. So you've all had a long
Oh,
rest.
okay.
Oh yeah, I should fix my spell.
Yeah, so you don't need to take any candy.
Long
It's
rest.
been a week. You've all had a long rest. If you would like to change your spells, you can. You've definitely had the time to. And you knew that today was going to be the tournament, so if you want to set them up for tournament spells, feel free. We probably won't get to that part today, but... now, if you are all ready, please make sure everyone stand on your designated die, and you see that there are like little raised wooden circles for everyone's team to stand on. You can see like on the wood itself is embossed with like arcane symbols and runes.
We'll stand on ours.
Alrighty, now please make sure to keep your limbs, arms, legs, all extremities and limbs inside the circle at all times. We do not want anyone missing anything. If you're
Alright.
all ready to go, I will send you to your first task. And you just hear each of you see the like runes light up and you hear sort of like chime in your head. And you feel yourself being teleported. And then, boop, after a moment, you look around and you see yourself in a long, shining hall with sort of rows of healing herbs and plants and a massive basin of water. in the center, a fountain, and then past it, each symbol there are statues on all four sides, so 2 on the sides of this long hall, 1 at the back and 1 at the center. And you can see those statues look to, if anyone could make a religion check for me.
I got a nat 20 for a 24.
I'm
got
glad
16.
you did, because I got a nat 1 for a total of 2.
Okay, 16, nat 1, nat 20.
I have to prepare my other spell. Hold on.
No problem.
There. That one's good. Okay. And what was this? Religion?
Yes, religion check.
8.
So yeah, I will say the 8 and the 1 a little. You notice that the statues look kind of interesting. They're definitely a person standing there holding a snake that's wrapping around them. For the what was that roll? I think you might be frozen. Oh, no, you're not. I don't remember if you passed or not, Wilret. But I will say Cornelius.
16.
Yeah, so you pass. So Cornelius and Wilret, I will say with that 16 and that natural 20, you kind of have a good idea of who this is. This is the Temple of the Blood God.
Of course it is.
Fun. The Temple of, I forget their name.
They're your god.
Listen, I have a lot of them. And this isn't, technically they're not a god, they're a minor deity.
If I pulled out my notes for Andorra, I could probably tell you.
So you would recognize this name from Andoria. And you can see, standing at the center on the sort of raised platform, where at the bottom you see embossed 2 snakes twining over a staff, is a stone statue of a person with sort of like rocky skin, mossy hair that's a little bit lower, and they're wearing noble's clothing as they stand there, a completely stone statue, sort of mouth open. In their hand is a single black rose with the flower embedded into their skin, and their face turned towards the skies. It looks sort of twisted in agony.
I assume I could have maged armor before going in, right?
Yes, you are allowed to do that.
Okay.
That sounds like a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything?
Yeah, so other things along the hall are just a massive amount of plants, each growing along the flowing river. And there is water pouring out of each of the 4 statues. At the very back of the temple is another statue with like multiple pools underneath it.
I'm going to activate see invisibility.
Yes, go ahead. I would write that down because I do believe that's where we're going to end our session.
Visible objects. Oh, okay.
I will give you see invisibility. You immediately cast see invisibility, and you do see actually a couple of invisible looking plants. Does it tell you, see invisibility just lets you immediately see what is hidden?
Creatures and objects as if they were visible, and you can see into the ethereal plane.
Into the ethereal plane.
Ethereal creatures and objects appear ghostly and translucent.
Then I will say, you see a couple of like plants that weren't there immediately spring up, but the thing that catches your eye immediately is that statue of the person, behind it you see an ethereal version of them.
Oh.
And it is just wrapped around the statue. So the person you see who's like stone skin, mossy hair, the statue itself is just standing there, twisted in agony, and then behind it you see an ethereal version of that person, just sort of with their arms wrapped around the statue.
Who's the note taker? I want you to take notes on this.
I got it.
Yeah, you were immediately
able to note in there that I want to use I want to use encode thoughts to show everyone the fucking thing I'm seeing.
Okay.
Alrighty. But I will give, since you had a spell that you were able to cast, I will give the 3 of you something that you're able to do before we end the session.
I would probably just use my monocle for detect magic.
Alrighty. So as you adjust your monocle, you can see around you, just everywhere around you, you see you feel enchantment and illusion magic. Looking at the statues immediately, you see the 3 sort of like one on the right, the one on the left, and the one at the entrance behind you. those feel like illusion magic, and the one all the way at the far back, covered in like multiple fountains, is enchantment magic, some kind of enchantment.
And does anything else stand out different from those two? Or that's the only school of magic in the whole place?
That's the only. I don't know what School of Magic illusion invisibility is. I think that's also illusion.
I believe it is.
But you
or
do,
it could
like,
be enchantment. It's one of the two, yeah.
But you do recognize that some of the like spots where the plants are illusion or enchantment.
Gotcha.
But you can't see them in the way that Salem can. You just know that they're there.
Okay, cool.
And then for our other two, what would you like to do before?
I would just like to do a general just perception check for things that might be like the differences between all the statues.
Alrighty, go ahead and roll a perception check.
I'm gonna be looking at the. You said there's like a main pool in front of us, right?
Yes. So there. I do have the. I can pull up the map for it for you. Just switch it over.
18.
With an 18 perception check. Looking around, the statues, they all look pretty similar. You think that the three statues on the right, the one on the right, the one on the left, and the one behind you are pretty identical, if like mirrored, just by virtue of being on different sides of the room.
Mm-hmm.
But they all look like the same person, sort of standing there, two arms, humanoid with hair pulled back and then a band over it, as they are standing and water pours out underneath them and flows into the river at the center. And then the one at the very back, which was the largest statue that had the enchantment on it, that one is a person holding a snake and like holding its mouth open, and the water from the snake's mouth is pouring into a bowl. And you can see that it's sort of like that's what's filling up the main river. I will say the thing you notice immediately is, despite the fact that you were told that you were all going to be teleported here, you don't see any of the other students. It's just your team.
Okay.
But you're not sure if that's part of design because each of you want to be part of the competition without influencing others for this puzzle, or if you personally were transported somewhere else.
No, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm sorry, so you said that the right, left, and back statue, where is the water coming from?
Those are just coming from like underneath them. You know when statues like have the water like bubbling up underneath it?
And then the last one is coming from the snake mouth.
Yes, snake's mouth.
And this is the one also holding the black rose, or is this a different one holding the black rose?
The black rose is not a real statue. It looks like someone turned to stone. That one is. I also have the map up on the words on the forge if you would like to look at it. I will also pull it up on the stream. Give me one quick moment so that everyone can see it. Oh, I got logged out. Hang on.
Yeah, same.
I wasn't touching it for too long.
You've been inactive for 2 hours.
Exactly. But alrighty, let me real quick transfer us over. And you can see, so yeah, there are these statues here. The one in the back is the sort of main one where water is pouring out. You cannot see it just because this map doesn't have it, but at the back, so there are these two statues. One here, and one here. And then another one all the way in the back. That is, this map doesn't have one, but I would prefer if there was another statue here.
It's mirrored, but these two. And where is this person that is frozen?
At the center of, I don't know
where
if you
we're
can see
standing.
this. Yes. So there, no, you are all, feel free to place yourselves in back here, sort of closer to the entrance, so you'd have to walk. But all the way at the center there is someone just stood there.
Got it. Okay.
Also, if you would like to look, Maggie's lovely art. Please join Maggie's Patreon, and you can get cool art like that.
There.
Join Maggie's Patreon, and you can get cool art like this. Imagine they were made of like stone and not colored.
Pretty.
But yeah, so you see that there's someone.
The page so I can join it. I didn't see where.
It is in the
Discord.
Discord. I will.
Okay. It's pinned on the Liftswon.
Yeah,
I found it. Yeah.
Boop. Feel free. But yeah, so you see that there is someone sort of arm up, like one of their arms is sort of up, and you can see that there is a rose coming out of the palm of their hand as their face is twisted in
Yeah. Okay.
agony.
I was just confused. I thought that was the fourth statue.
No, I mean technically yes, there is another statue here, but that is not like a fixture. You don't think that that's a fixture of
Right,
the
but
building. It's just someone here.
when you said 4 statues, I thought you meant that the one that had the rose was one of the 4 statues that you said existed. It technically is
Yeah.
a 5th statue.
Yes, my apologies.
Okay.
This
Yes.
is where we are, huh?
Yes. I'm sure you recognize this map.
I do indeed.
Enjoy.
I was about to say, we definitely do.
Listen, we're getting back to Endoria soon. I wanted to make some moves.
Fancy.
But yes, so this is where you all are standing. I did yours. What was yours, Eugene? You were looking for something?
No, I was just generally looking at the pools and like just
Yes.
observing them, observing the water flow.
Yeah, so you can see that the water is also, I should have mentioned this earlier. The water flowing from the statues is clear, but the water surrounding this sort of circle, as it gets closer to this center, it starts turning black. I did not mention that, even though it's in my notes, because I'm going to move my notes to another tab so I can see them.
All right. Very interesting.
That was on me. But yeah, so the water is all clear running from each statue, but the closer it gets to this frozen person in the center, it starts turning black. And sort of like sludge-like. But yeah, as you all are standing around, making your immediate assessments of the area, that is where we're going to end our session.
All right.
Yeah, we've already been going 3 hours. A little bit of that time was me being gone. But thank you all for joining. Hopefully we can get through the rest of the tournament soon. Thank you all for being here. We love having you here. Thank you all for playing.
Thank you for DMing.
I hope you all had a great time. And we will have our schedule up.
We had
a gay old time. We will have our schedule up on the Twitch, so make sure to check that out if you want to see when our next stream is going to be. We love you all, and we look forward to hanging out with you soon.
We'll catch you on the flip side.
I keep forgetting to end it. Bye.
Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.